Hello, everyone. It's Kyle Marshaku, here Q Electricity that pretends to be your equal. And hello, streaming. As always, streaming around 11 Central Time US on Sundays once a week because, I have to work a normal job, so I can only afford to do it one time a week. I'm really busy. Got a lot of personal projects too I'm working on. That's why I've been showing those at the beginning of stream. If you guys are just tuning in for the YouTube side of things, please leave a like on the stream. Helps it get noticed. I've been working this weekend on preparing the finale for the Mario D&D campaign I talked about like a month ago or so. That's going to be fun. Although creating a stat block for Bowser is like creating a stat block for a Tarrasque. Maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but not much. So yeah, hello. If you look in the top left corner of the screen, you can see that I have a fundraiser to try to play a Call of Duty zombie game with my partner. We have been playing that as we can, but it's an expensive series, so we're probably not going to be able to afford to play the whole games unless more people donate. But that's just the way it is. Oh well. Um, alright. Now, what I've been doing for the past few weeks is I've been talking about my top video essays because I feel like video essays are an underappreciated art form. I'm going to continue doing that, but there is something I feel like I should acknowledge first. Let me just pull something up here. Alright, you should be able to see my screen now. Alright, so that's the fundraiser. I'm not going to be bothering you about it, but just so you guys know. Um, now, there's a really big YouTube creator called Innuendo Studios. He made the alt-right playbook, which is not in the recommendation. It's a thing he made here. Let me just pull it up real quick. Yeah, here we go. Great videos, especially if you're a leftist, if you're very political and you want to understand how we got to this fascist point in history. And he has going on hiatus because it's just not a profitable career. I just wanted to shout him out. He's not in my top 60 video essays, but he would definitely make the top 100. And I don't know, I guess I just felt like it was a little, I don't know, relevant with everything going on, with YouTube being terrible. uh he has a GoFundMe and his is definitely more important than mine if you want to support him. But I figured I'm talking about video essays and that guy doesn't get a lot of love in my list, but you know he's a good dude, and I feel bad for him. I understand kind of what he's going through. With that said, we're going to move on. We are doing the top 20 video essays. Now, previously, I have done up to the top 60 because I just couldn't get it lower than that, right? Um, oh, Kira, can you mention something just to make sure that people are seeing this? But yeah, so we did the top 60, then the 50, then 40, 30, and now we are doing 20. This is going to be a big deal to me because these are going to be like unreasonably good video essays. If someone made a video essay and it didn't make it into this list, thank you, sweetie. Uh, if someone didn't make it into this list, like that's not a problem. You did not make a bad video if your video did not make it to the top 20. This is unreasonable. This is level A tier, whatever you want to call it. Uh, like this, was Nietzsche woke, was Nietzsche MAGA that we covered last time. Like that's a great series of videos, and it does not mean that they're not great, that they're not here. This is super great. Okay, this is something else. So I might be rambling a little bit today. Lower on the list, I was able to talk about some criticisms, some critiques, and I'll probably still have a few of those here and there. But I'm going to be a little stretching, to be honest. It's going to be a lot of gushing. But let's get started with number 20, Control, the worst 8 out of 10 game. I love it by Bricky. This, in my opinion, is Bricky's best video essay. He was only on my list one other time. I mentioned before, Bricky is. Bricky's basically like a former COD Zombies YouTube creator that was able to kind of branch out and survive where a lot of others didn't. He seems to be pretty cool. He seems progressive. I know he's progressive. He makes Ace jokes the way only someone who actually knows Ace people can do, and so I appreciate that. Anyway, video is how I actually found out about him, because I found out about the game Control and was like, why aren't more people talking about this game? And he has a video covering it. If you guys don't know, Control is a really, really interesting game. I put the Alan Wake 2. If you guys know what Alan Wake is, this is the other video that's on my list here. And I don't like Alan Wake. I am oops. Sorry. That was a bit loud. Uh excuse me. But I really don't like Alan Wake. I don't understand why so many people like it. But Control, I get Control. I get Control. I get it so much. And if you guys like liminal spaces, Control is a really interesting game. It is not perfect. There's a reason he says the worst 8 out of 10. We'll get to that. But let me just skip the advertisement he starts off with. I get it. Dude has to make his money. You know, I was thinking, like, I jokingly called him the VTuber pimp last time I brought him up, but I was thinking of all the Trump tariffs and everything and how, like, there's about to be supply shortages throughout the U.S. His business might be really hurt by that. Good luck, man. Anyway, let's get to the video.
Boy, in a huge way. Thank you.
Oh, I might get copyright flagged for that music. I'll do it in spurts, I guess, so I don't get copyright flagged. I guess just look at the video to see what's going on here. Yeah, there's some wacky stuff in this game. I love the art aesthetic. This to me is an interesting way to, like, have a different type of fantasy or sci-fi or fiction. I wish more people would explore different kinds of genres like that. All right, let's get to him talking.
This video, while hopefully enjoyable on its own, is a companion piece to other videos, the initial Alan Wake review and the DLC American Nightmare review. I would highly recommend watching this first before this one. Links in the description and the...
I don't think you really need to be able to understand it. One thing that I differ from with Bricky is Bricky explored this as part of the Alan Wake universe. I did not. I think Control is a great standalone game up till later, I'll say. Because I hate it when games, you know, they have a new, like, I hate when game studios will have a new entry in the series and be like, oh, look at this new entry, it's something brand new. And then it turns out, like, twist, the ending, oh, it's actually just building on top of a previous entry. And if you didn't watch that previous entry because you thought it was a standalone game, well, bleep you, I guess. This has happened to me multiple times, and I am very sick of it now. Where the Kiwi says, Control is peak, but Alan Wake is just not it. I don't know. You get me perfectly. True. World of Kiwis. Everyone see? Look, I'm right. World of Kiwis vouches for me. All right, let's get back to Bricky.
Cards above. I've also made a playlist if that helps. Coming off of Alan Wake's American Nightmare, the game that wrecked C. Therefore, I skipped it in favor of their next game released in 2019 known as Control. Control released in summer and was published by 505 Games along with their usual cast of wacky, zany individuals in Remedy, including none other than Sam Lake, you hack! While the game is not a direct sequel to anything Alan Wake related and is not part of the same world as Quantum Break, it is still very important in the Remedy verse, and it goes a little something like this.
There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw.
Control opens with a genuinely strange cutscene, including lots of very stark imagery centered around quick cuts and lots of red, gray, and white. You are at the Federal Bureau of Control, or FBC, also known as simply the Bureau. You play as Jesse Faden, this sharply dressed redhead here, and you are very excited to start your brand new job as a janitor's assistant.
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, but janitor, by the way.
The entire opening of Control is it's really hard to explain without giving away everything. This is one of those games that is going to be coming at you at just lightning speeds with all kinds of questions. I have been in the game for 10 minutes and I am already lambasted with curiosity. And these aren't even normal questions. Like,
So one thing I really like about the way this game works is just like if you ever enjoy like the SCP type of stuff, was it Secure, Control, Protect, like that, like online fan fiction, you'll love Control because it is that type of vibe. The idea of that like there are paranatural entities, things beyond our understanding, but we understand them just a little bit enough to be able to manipulate them.
8 moments going through it again. So you get is explained by Dr. Darling, my beloved, played by the real live-action Matthew Peretta, known for his incredible role as Alan Wake. Yeah, this is Alan Wake's VA.
Best character in the game.
He's just here. This gun is known as the service weapon.
All right, he's being a little slow with explaining it, so I'm gonna skip ahead.
Object of power. So if my AirPods ran out of battery and then caused
of an OOP, a very powerful one, ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it.
Yeah, so there's these really cool objects in the game. Like there's a gun, and if you shoot yourself in the gun and you don't die, then you become the director of the secret bureau. Or like there's a floppy disk, and anyone who holds it is able to like launch things. There's a TV that like just flies on its own. There's these like weird events. The idea is like they even like comb like conspiracy boards and stuff because occasionally one of them is true. This is like the astral plane, like something you normally see in like D&D or like fantasy.
the board to become the new director of...
Yeah, that pyramid is the board of the bureau. They are your bosses. They speak very strangely. They'll say things like, we are happy to have a human/cattle. It's just
in its own
amazing.
right. Your questions and system, or trying to multiple hours in the middle section of
He talks a bit
Control.
more about
You totally go
gameplay
seek
than I
out
would like.
Trench's team. In doing so,
Oh, there's a really cool object called like the phone line where you can call dead people with it and they'll answer, and it's just like no one knows how it works, but it just does.
you get a couple of pretty awesome new powers. Sure looks like Ash Lake. Oh, especially the other paranatural entity. This they called Hadron, and it was a...
The big bad guy of this game is called the Hiss, and it's basically just like an infection, a virus that just takes over people, and it has this way of talking that's like reminds me of like AI, or at least the way AI used to be, and that way of like it almost kind of makes sense but not really, and it's horrifying. Let me find a good picture of it. Yeah, that's kind of a picture of it. The red stuff is the Hiss. And like it talks like you hear our words, but you forget. Put your fingers to the surface, to the wet. You stay until nothing remains, until the sound of the name of the until the name of the sound of the name. Repeat the words, repeat the words. Egg cracks and the truth shall emerge. A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. You're home. You remind us happy. And that is horrifying to me. Whirly Kiwi says the board is my dom. I feel like the board is a malevolent entity that you're just happening to be aligned with. I feel like the board's the bureau is technically a government agency of the United States, but you really get the feeling that like even the president or the federal government don't really understand what the bureau is actually about. Kind of like a Men in Black situation.
cross, and then you just tripped at the finish line.
Oh, okay, but the ending is terrible. This is what I'm talking about. If you just talk about the first half of Control, it is an amazing game. It would be in my top 10. But it's that second half. It is so bad. It ends so abruptly with no payoff or anything. I have to show it. This is Jesse's brother, by the way. He was like the main avatar of the Hiss. So she tries to like save him and whatnot, and right after the big final battle, it's just...
Dylan's in a coma. I don't know if there's anything of him left in there. If he'll ever find his way back. The portal's been closed, but the hiss is still in the oldest house. And the lockdown can't be lifted as long as any trace of it remains. I'm working on a solution with my management team, but there is still a long road
It
ahead.
sounds like a corporate statement.
I'm the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. We're in this together. You and I.
Now that sounds like AI. His face.
What a load of shit! Sam Lake, you hack! You like Stephen King too much? What is with your dog shit endings? I was genuinely dumbfounded when I finished this game at how abruptly it just ends. You know, there's this really cool thing called the falling action. You know, once you hit a climax in the story, you have this little bit of falling action, right? And so it happens, you know, it kind of smooths out the ending of your game or your movie or your book, and then, you know, and then you end it. We hit climax, and then we just stopped. Sam Lake, you busted and immediately hopped in the Uber. She's still panting, my guy. You didn't even bother to get her a towel. This is
Best part of the video. Anyway, yeah, so that's this video. I think it's great. He also covers the DLCs, which are complete trash. They're just like the ending, and as he explains, they're just basically sequel bait, which is really disappointing. When I saw that one of the DLC for this game was an Alan Wake DLC, I hopped off. I didn't even watch. I didn't care. Nothing. Worldly Kiwi says, it sounds like a corporate statement is low key. It is. Okay, yes, but that's kind of like, well, we meant for it to be bad type of thing. And like, that's not good enough. Like I don't like that. Like, we meant for it to sound like a boring, unfulfilling ending. Like, nah, I reject that. I think they wanted to leave it open-ended for DLC, for completionists, and for Control 2. So they didn't want to give it a real ending. And it's frustrating because Jessie as a character is kind of contradictory. Her whole point is that she's like a troubled teen coming back to like mess things up, but also she's director of the board. It's a contradictory thing, and I think for the game that can work, but it doesn't get resolved, nothing happens, and there's a gnat attacking me. Die. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. They just leave that unresolved. They just leave that contradiction standing, and it's frustrating. All right, so I think this is a great video. Great half game, and the other half game not so great. But this is what I mean when I appreciate Alan Wake for trying to do something different. Control, I think, was far more successful at it, even if it falls flat at the end. I think it's still a great experience, and I think people should either play it or, I guess, just watch this video. Bricky does a good job covering it. All right, number 19. Vaccines and Autism, A Measured Response by H. Bomber Guy. So, H. Bomber Guy used to be, young British fellow with blonde hair, and he went kind of away for a while during the pandemic, and then he came back in mad scientist mode. This is the introduction of the new H. Bomber Guy, and it's a very good video that he does it, he comes back with.
Don't worry, vaccines are perfectly safe, according to me. You might notice a little prick. Hello and welcome back to hell. I'm just vaccinating my profiteroles, immunizing them against the horrendous disease known only as not enough cream, itis. Unfortunately, while vaccines are great at stimulating my balls, in humans they've become quite the controversial topic. In the late 90s, an anti-vaccine movement started to pick up steam, claiming that they cause autism.
And the movement has plenty of washed-up celebrities flushing it, including what's-his-name, and...
I can't believe he's a... Really? Wow, okay. I forgot that Jim Carrey was an anti-vaxxer. That's really disappointing.
that one, and some more. Here's 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, coming out against medicine.
He once famously tweeted, "No more massive injections. Tiny children are not horses." I mean, of course they aren't. Horses aren't even real. But if there's an entire movement of people with documentaries and websites and Facebook pages with thousands and thousands of members, backed by the
Former
US president, why...
That didn't age well.
does everyone else seem to think they're obviously wrong? Has the mainstream medical establishment science cucked a majority of people into thinking they're safe so they can keep making money selling them? The vaccine debate is complex and
All right, so I let him talk for a bit. Basically, this video is like, if you've ever heard about like anti-vaxxers and like, oh, people have some genuine concerns, this tells you where those ideas came from. This is about the MMR scandal, measles, mumps, and rubella, that happened in Great Britain, the United Kingdom, whatever. That was patient zero for the anti-vaccine movement. It is a new idea. Vaccines were supported since literally George Washington's time. George Washington gave his troops vaccines. This anti-vax thing is new. So H-Bomber Guy talks about where it came from. And it's a really fascinating and horrifying story. Because like America is going through it right now, and not just America, but America's the big one. But England's already done this. Like they've already gone through it. And so he talks about that story and what we can learn from that.
multi-layered and hasn't been resolved for over 2 decades, so obviously it needs me to come and put an end to it in the space of a single YouTube video, by doing what I'm best at, destroying things with my mouth. For you.
Part 1, the easy version, in case you don't feel like watching this whole fucking video.
In 1998, a study came out alleging a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. MMR vaccinates against measles, mumps, and rubella, which saves kids from having to get multiple painful shots and parents from having to know what rubella is. It was published in The Lancet, a very well-known medical journal, which made it seem credible. However, the paper was eventually found guilty of being bad. The science turned out to be bonkers, and multiple other studies on literally millions of children did not show that there was a link, and the paper was eventually retracted by the journal that published it. So retracted that it literally has retracted written all across every page in big red letters. My printer just does black and white, so I've actually got an artist's impression of the real version. So far, that's some pretty shaky ground on the anti-vaccine side. But later, new evidence came out that...
Oh, that's it. That's all the evidence. This segment is over now. Part 2, the existential horror of... Wait, that's it?
No, seriously. That's all the evidence.
Yep. And that was it. Like, there's not been any evidence that vaccines are bad for you at all. It was just one lousy paper that was completely fraudulent, and he talks about that paper. And H-Bomber Guy is a really cool thing in this video where he keeps talking about how much worse it gets, and you think, like, well, it can't get worse, right?
Right? Thing there! I can't...
Jackie Fletcher.
Biotherapy.
Would then conquer reason.
Every time you turned on the television, that the almost dead measles virus present in the MMR vaccine can get stuck in the intestine somehow, causing all that inflammation they apparently found in the study. More on that later. Which leads to it not journalists in Britain at the time, deaths of children from completely preventable diseases. And part 4, Andrew Wakefield is a lying con man who wanted your
That's the
money.
guy who made the
sorry,
paper.
that puts me at risk of libel, doesn't it? Hold on, let's revise. Vaccine
Most of the samples.
using to prove the thing he's trying to get theory, so he ignored the work in
Com. Can you imagine being that petty? In 2004, 10 of the paper's original 13 authors came forward to publicly retract the interpretation section of the paper. Half a decade after its publication, a vast majority of the people who worked with Wakefield on his paper have gone on record to say they think his conclusions are bollocks. At this point, Wakefield's study's coffin has fallen through the floor from the sheer weight of all the nails that have been hammered in it. So, that's the foundational study of the anti-vaccine movement. A hack fraud's bullshit paper claiming that a handful of parents know better than all doctors, so he could sell an alternative competing vaccine that he'd patented, which he thought he was going to make millions selling. The evidence against the movement can't get much worse than that, can it?
That was a joke! Part 5, it gets much worse! Brian Deere didn't stop there. Wakefield being dumped, dropped, and wasn't included in the PAT. To pursue a class of speech development and deterioration in language skills noted at out. Scientists
Yep. It gets bad.
small and considering the rate to a
I was hoping to find the section on the birthday party child blood bribes, but it's a little buried in here. But I guess just take my word that there's a section in here about the birthday party child blood bribes. Anyway, it's a really good video if you want to understand where the anti-vaccine movement comes from. It's entirely just vibes. It's vibes, and honestly, I'm going to be real, selfishness. Oh, sorry. It's selfishness. People just want other people to die. There was an incident in America recently where a mother of like several children, one of her kids died because she refused to vaccinate them for measles. And she was basically like, it's fine, I got more children, it's God's will or whatever. And like, no, that mother should be tried for child abuse. That is child abuse to not give your children life-saving vaccines. Anyway, this video is great. Check it out. It's one of H Bomber Guy's most informative videos. It's about a very important subject. There's a journalist in here who's like genuinely a hero, Brian Deere. Him. Yeah, so we're checking out. Next up, we have number 18. I emailed my doctor 133 times. The crisis in the British healthcare system. As testament to the fact that I feel like Philosophy Tube rebounded and got some really great videos after her transition. I think her best video is about her transition. And this video, I'm gonna be honest, this is a dark video. This is a video made with rage. And I think that's what makes the video so good. You can feel that rage. Just a happy hero, blah 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 da da da. I don't want to get copyright claims. So
hello, my name's Abigail. Over the last few years, I have emailed Britain's national healthcare provider 133 times trying to get a doctor's appointment. This video is about what that was like, why big institutions fall apart, and why they're so difficult to change. As research, I've spoken to some of the NHS's most senior administrators, so over the course of this rational analysis, I'll be revealing some exclusive insider information. The video is sponsored by Nebula, but after I've paid back the owner of this laptop, I'll be donating most of that money to charity. So you can sit back and relax as I bring you a calm, dispassionate exploration of the big questions at the heart of Britain's National Health Service.
So, the NHS in Britain is their government healthcare, basically, government-funded healthcare. The NHS, National Healthcare Service. And one thing that Tories, as well as other right-wingers in the British government, have been doing is they will deliberately underfund and undercut the service to make everyone dislike it or not like it. And at that point, people will then want to try to get rid of it because, well, it's not working anyway. It's kind of a long-term con to try to just get rid of nationalized healthcare. But this video by Abigail talks about how, like, it's not really the underfunding that's the issue. Like, it's more philosophical. They're against the idea of providing healthcare, and especially towards trans people. Even with the underfunded situation they have, they could reorganize and be more efficient. So she goes a bit beyond that initial criticism about the underfunding. And she talks about her experience trying to get the hormones she needed to transition and become a woman.
Healthcare service to use other bits of the NHS. Several years ago, I went to my GP.
Oh, okay, crap. I gotta show this part.
Which your GP definitely will. Once you're in the medical system, you can also change the legal sex that is recorded on your birth certificate and your passport. In England...
So she's saying how, like, it's supposed to work. Like, yeah, you just go to your doctor, your GP, and you just tell them and they just do it. Yeah, it's easy. Everything on paper says it should work great.
You cannot change either of those things without first obtaining a doctor's permission. But it all starts with a friendly visit to your local NHS doc, who will be only too happy to provide you with world-class medical care from the finest system in the world. Years ago, I went to my GP, told her I'm trans, and asked to be referred to a gender identity clinic. The first thing she did was refuse. Not exactly off to a great start. I won't name her, or any of the real people I'll be referring to today. Instead, I'll call her Lieutenant Scheisskopf.
Yeah, so she has this interesting like framing device using this movie. I forget what the movie's called. Is it Catch 22? But yeah.
Trans then, she would refer me. GPs in England aren't routinely
So this is a long story of trials and tribulations. I'm going to skip around.
trained in. And Alice is. I printed out the NHS rules on treating trans patients and highlighted the relevant sections. So when he said, "I'm sorry, I can't send you to the clinic," I pulled them out and I said, "Actually, doctor, you not only can, you are required to." After a great deal of persuasion, he did in fact agree to follow the rules, and he referred me to the clinic. I made sure to get a signed and dated copy of that referral. And the clock officially started.
Major
Failures of the clinic, which we both found very funny.
chaplain.
I'm leaving this job now to go and run the NHS. If you need me, here's my new email address.
The writing document.
For the last decade and change, there's been a lot of cuts, frothing bigot. The same medicine as ever appears to have a satisfaction rate. Their families spent years campaigning to try and get this investigated, tackling prejudice in the workforce impacted. It's nice that they want to open more clinics at.
Yeah, one of the really insulting things is the people in the system have a plan to improve it, but the plan doesn't actually change anything. She talks about how some institutions will make plans, but the plan is itself the plan. The goal is not to do anything. The goal is just to say you're going to do something.
Some point to be helping. When Cathcart told me his plan, I went back to Major Danby a second time and I said, "Major, based on everything I've seen, it seems to me that decisions about the healthcare of patients are being made not based on the medical evidence, but based on interdepartmental politics and institutional inertia." And he said, "Yes, you're absolutely correct. And keep on." And
All right. So yeah, this part, she moves on from talking about how horrible the experience was. And basically the end of the story is just one day they called her out of the blue and said, "You want to come in." She doesn't know if she was given preferential treatment for having done everything she did or if it was just random. And that's kind of one of the infuriating things about it. She has this section here that I think is very interesting. It's you don't have to be crazy to transition, but it helps.
they don't have to be diagnosed with it to get treatment. Remember, if a cis woman goes through menopause, she can get estrogen from her GP. If a trans woman wants it, we have to go to the gender clinic and be diagnosed with gender dysphoria. When we feel those feelings, it's treated differently. And you might be saying, well, when cis people feel those things, that's body dysmorphia, not gender dysphoria. It is a different thing. But that's what I'm asking. Why is it different? To which the only answer is, well, because you're trans.
I remember on Twitter, back when people were on Twitter, besides Nazis, I remember there was this big, cancellation harassment thing for Abigail here. Because she made a statement, and it was a bit of a crass statement. It's Twitter. She made it in a tweet. It wasn't very verbose. But she talked about not thinking gender dysphoria is real. And a lot of people were hating on her for that. It's like, oh, you're going against like medical experts and stuff. And so this is a bit of a contentious take among the progressive trans community to some extent. Because there's some people, there's trans medicalists. Trans medicalists are people that think you can only transition medically. You can't just change your gender identity. They're bigots. Don't worry about them. But there are people that say, okay, non-binary people are real, gender identity is real, you can identify, but gender dysphoria is a medical thing, and we should treat it as a medical thing. She cites here how in Britain, gender dysphoria being a medical thing was used in a court case to basically used it for like anti-discrimination, to be able to cover it with healthcare, stuff like that. So there's a legal precedent for it. Other people, like Abigail, like myself, argue that gender dysphoria is just used to add bureaucracy and red tape. That this entire video, what she's learned from it, is that by medicalizing transness, you make a series of gates that ultimately serve to keep most people out. And I think she makes a really impassioned plea for it. I bring up the Twitter example because I knew when that was going on that, like, guys, She talked about this in her recent video. Watch the video. You can see her full, elaborated take that's not truncated down to the form of a tweet. And she's right. She's based, honestly. Like, we don't need dysphoria. Just sell hormones, you know? Like, they're not even really that dangerous. Like, just have it be something you can pick up at your pharmacy. I say that dangerous because I don't know whether there might be side effects. But you know what? There is worse stuff on those shelves that anyone can just grab. Tylenol is probably worse for you. Whirly Kiwi says, seeing Transmedicalist on TikTok in the year of our Lord 2025 was a jump scare and a quarter. Yeah, I think Transmedicalists are kind of dying out because it was really just used as a front by bigots, and they've kind of dropped the pretense. A lot of transphobes are just overtly transphobic. I mean, like literally just last week, the fascist in chief, the Trump regime, just kicked out, dishonorably discharged every trans soldier in the American military, and like that's bullcrap. That's just blatant discrimination. But no one cares anymore because we don't have a nation of law and order.
History of trans people doing this. We could still use the word. If somebody says, "How are you, Abby?" and what I want to say is, I feel bad.
Kira, my partner, says, as someone on HRT, early menopause due to medical issues, it's not that big of a deal to take it. It makes you feel bad, then just stop taking it. Yeah, absolutely. And a similar thing is true for hormone blockers. People act like hormone blockers are like child abuse, because it's a medication meant for children. But you know how you solve it if you don't like it? You stop taking it. It's not hard.
Bad about my body and the way that it is perceived by myself and others in a way that relates to my gender because there is a gap between what I want and what I have, then it's probably just faster to say dysphoria, or honestly, most of the time it's faster to just make a noise like, But there have been calls for years internationally to ditch the clinical use of dysphoria. One is the so-called medical model. Powerful. We live in a culture that, not naming names, who say, with that outlook, I don't think anyone can really claim that the NHS's current system exists to help trans patients. It might occasionally do that as a side effect, but in my opinion,
Scheitskoff can demonstrate he has power over us. The more pointless the activity, the greater our humiliation and the more power he feels. And we can sit here and pretend all we want that there must be some more noble war effort type purpose to all this walking around in f***ing rectangles, but there isn't one. We do parades so Scheitskoff can feel like a tough guy. That's what parades are for.
in my opinion, the concept
Okay, this is the big part, okay? This is the big part.
of gender dysphoria pathologizes transness, so people can avoid the endearing truth that there is no line, and that really we aren't so different. And so that some of them can avoid asking themselves the big question. Given that human beings can change sex, do you want to?
Chills. Like that's just all I can say. Chills. It gives me chills. All right, moving on. Number 17. Why Bethesda games are worse. This person is an anomaly. Narni, that they call themselves? I have no idea. Who this person is. Maybe they're like a game streamer or something. They don't usually make video essays, but they have a channel with exactly 2 videos on it, and this one is good. I don't know what's going on with this one. I don't really care. This video is really amazing. As someone that has modded Fallout games quite a lot, whose partner is really big into Elder Scrolls, this video explaining why Bethesda games are worse is just genuinely really interesting to me. So this is Narni's only video essay on the list, and it's also their best one. And the framing device for this one is the new Bethesda game Starfield, because, they've made Elder Scrolls, they've made Fallout, but by looking and playing through the newest game they've made, that's a completely different world, completely different IP that they've built from the ground up, you can really get an understanding for the flaw in the ideology, the methodology, and just like the game ethos that Bethesda has. This video is it's a bit of a slow burn. This guy Narni has a very like slow way of talking, and I don't mean that as like a insult in any way at all. I just mean like it's very much a sort of chill vibe type of aesthetic.
Why is it that Bethesda games have progressively gotten worse? And while it's a subjective question, it's not entirely incorrect. We'll be looking into that, along with diving into Starfield more specifically, uncovering its many flaws, and taking a look at the entire main story, to figure out what the intention of the game was, and what we actually ended up with. Then, finally, looking to the future of Bethesda. Generally speaking, games used to be more difficult, beginning with arcade games having to be harder to keep players inserting coins. And this philosophy carried over to consoles, but in a different way.
All right, he kind of does the video essay thing of like starting back in the past. Literally goes back to like 8-bit, 16-bit stuff. So I'm going to skip past that to get more to the meat of the video.
Looking at Bethesda specifically, of these games innovated in different. You'll choose one dialogue option. Just
one thing I like is he does praise Bethesda and what they do, but you know, it's going to be more criticism than praise. I just think it's telling when someone's willing to give credit where it's due.
For your character to say something completely different. The trade-off, however, is smoother combat, the addition of settlement building, improved crafting, the ability to sprint, and of course, having a voice. And you might like these changes. You might even love the settlement building and voice to the point you won't touch the previous Fallout titles. And that's why this is so divisive. Because your love or hate of Bethesda games is more than likely largely based on your own entry point. Say you began with Fallout 3.
I would say that's true, but that's mostly true not out of like personal bias, but it's because the games have kind of shifted genres slowly. Originally being RPGs, now being more like FPSs, kind of. So yeah, I don't think that's a personal flaw or anything, but I do think the statement is ultimately true.
Being mostly reverse. The rewards are almost not. In terms of color-coded risk, this is true. Into your ship. Then fast travel out of that box into a lively city. Each lingering transition, each loading screen, groaning at you, asking you, why are you doing this? Odd. Nobody is talking to each other. They're simply walking aimlessly or standing meaninglessly.
I feel like the chill vibe of this video, the way the guy talks, works really well for the subject matter. It's like he's letting you sit in the moment of boredom. He's not like exciting you to distract you from how boring this is.
They agree that I can go if Barrett stays here.
Guilt that make me a nightmare for people.
I checked out the rest of the cave to see if there was anything of interest in all of gaming, where patrons wander around with bags and briefcases. The vast majority of the club is filled with the elderly, and 3 people in vibrant tentacle alien suits dance rhythmically for it.
Obviously, he covers a bunch of glitches.
Oh, yay. Could explain why the hunter decided to let me go after his place in the stars. We obtain the final artifact with a V. Of the
So one thing I think that's really interesting is he talks about like over the main story, you get to this like cosmic supernatural thing, and you have the option of really going back in time and just playing through the whole story again. And it's kind of like the main option. You either do that or you get one of the endings. So it's like a story-based new game plus. So after all of the boring nonsense he's talked about, he's like, oh, do you want to do it again? And what does doing it again do? Well, now, because your character knows the future, you have new dialogue options that let you skip story content. So you could play it again, but faster.
Taking out everyone in. I run stop arguments, not.
And heels won't even scar.
Repeat the main quest, you do it all over again. Except now, with your starborn knowledge, you'll gain some new flavor text. You're also able to skip mission steps or objectives with new Starborn dialogue options. The one main difference in repeating the main quest is you have the option of saving both companions. Now, if you skip the main quest, you simply tell them everything, get a couple of artifact locations from Vladimir.
All right, I'm gonna get to like the conclusion,
reinforcing the artificial world you're attempting to live in. They have no homes, they aimlessly wander. They exist to make you feel that the world is dense and alive, whilst convincing you of the exact opposite. You're thrown an abundance of quests with no nuance, providing no intrigue or reason to invest past just completing a set list of tasks. An experience reminiscent.
Yeah, so basically he's talking about how Bethesda's games are just kind of becoming soulless, that they're being drained of their soul. And it's so sad because I know real people work on these games, actual artists, people that care. You know, someone modeled these things and they spent a lot of work into it. They love doing that, or they wanted to make their career to be in the game industry. But I think about how their work is being wasted because of a complete lack of artistic vision, of creative direction, and it's a tragedy. This video is someone playing through Starfield and realizing, oh no, how did we get to this point? All right, number 16, In Defense of Dark Souls 2. So I really like this one. This video is I have a thing to try to turn the autoplay off, but it doesn't work reliably. So this video is one of H-Bomber-Guy's classic videos. The Bloodborne video was earlier on in my list, or lower down. This one here is Dark Souls 2. I love this one because it's a hot take. I love me some good hot takes, okay? I just feel like there's something really valuable in like bucking or rejecting consensus truths that aren't well-founded. It's not enough to just be like a troll and to be like, oh, I think chocolate is bad, actually, you know? What I think is a great hot take is when you can actually defend it. Because I feel like often there's just consensus truths that just aren't true, that people just take it for granted, you know? Like the gender dysphoria one I talked about earlier, that is kind of one as well. A lot of people think of gender dysphoria as a medical term, but is it really? Should it be? Likewise, there's also this truth that the Dark Souls series, which are considered some of like the best video games ever by a lot of people, they think that Dark Souls 1 was great, though simple. Dark Souls 3 is better and built on top of it. But Dark Souls 2 is kind of the weird, B-word child type of thing. Sadie Fatalis says a hot take like defending Homestuck beyond canon. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I did that in my Homestuck video. Oh wait, beyond canon? Okay, I'm not sure. Are you talking about Homestuck Squared or like the new stuff, the HSBC stuff? Regardless, I like all of it, and I think that itself is a hot take. I also specifically think Homestuck Squared was good, despite what a lot of people take, and I can defend that. I spent an hour or so defending that. So yeah, I love it when people are able to make a hot take and defend it. And I think Dark Souls 2 is a lot like Homestuck Squared, also like Super Mario Sunshine. It's part of this sequel situation where you'll have like a series of 3, and the second one tried to do something different. And some people really appreciated that, but a lot of people got angry that it was different than what it was before. And so they reject it. And then a third thing comes out, Dark Souls 3, Super Mario Galaxy, Homestuck Beyond Canon, and the third thing goes back to the roots. It still incorporates some things they learned in the second iteration, but now it's trying to emulate what the first iteration did. And kind of, I think oftentimes, like, Dark Souls 3 is basically just Dark Souls 1.5 plus Bloodborne. Super Mario Galaxy is like Super Mario 1.5 plus space. So I think there's some really interesting, valuable stuff that Dark Souls 2 did that I think without it, Dark Souls 3 would have never been a success. Or, you know, it wouldn't have been as successful as it was. he talks a lot about the mechanic stuff, and I think that's valuable, but again, that's not really what I care about. I'll play some of the video.
It's an offshoot from the video I made about Bloodborne. I realised partway through recording it that attempts to defend and talk up Dark Souls 2 were worming their way into the Bloodborne video. So instead of making the Bloodborne video even longer, I decided to cut those parts out and then put them in their own video. Then I realised this video made no sense because it was just a mishmash of stuff lifted from a different video pasted together without context, so I remade it all, which took bloody ages. This game is unfairly maligned. I think Dark Souls 1 was incredible, and people who really liked that one had kind of unrealistic expectations.
By the way, I think I'm just kind of a sucker for, unfairly maligned underdog narratives. I'll own that.
And got inevitably burned by the sequel being different, or failing to be as spectacular and new as its predecessor when it came out. Judging it as a game, I think it's really good. It's not as good as Bloodborne, but it's a little bit better than Dark Souls 1. Oh, I mean, in my opinion, it's a little bit better than Dark Souls 1. Okay, it's about as good as Dark Souls 1, but it has some differences I prefer. Okay, it's not as good as Dark Souls 1, but the changes were an interesting and useful risk that's more valuable existing than not existing, and is genuinely better than just getting more of Dark Souls 1, which we already have and you can still just go back to and play if you want to. And I personally think I had more fun with it. I think the Emerald Herald is a better waifu than Guinevere. Very dense and does be higher or lower, and in most games...
Like I said, I don't really care about the gameplay as much. He talks about how the gameplay did improve on the original Dark Souls formula, but was different, so it wasn't liked as much. I'm more interested in the narrative stuff, personally.
Designed to work best against single enemy encounter. Really bad in this fight, though. Note to yourself, just if you don't know, bad in a lot of cases. That's actually kind of bad design, masking linearity.
He talks about how, the original Dark Souls world was very cohesive. There was, an actual map, it made sense. Dark Souls 2 throws that out for a fantasy mishmash design. I want to see if I can find a part of it where he talks about an example.
Hugely entertaining comparison. Check out the two AGDQ with one big thing, wider by all kinds of within it, because that fights, because I want to be changes 2 + 1 to the old.
Come on, let me find it. YouTube.
It didn't. The way Bloodborne seemingly builds on these ideas for me shows that 2 was a few very clearly separated sections. It all physically ties together, which is pretty cool. Meanwhile, in Dark Souls 2, this is far from the case. Plenty of places don't make visual sense. You can get to the top of a tower you physically see in the distance, and you can see how tall it is, but then at the tippy top, you find an elevator, and it takes you further up into nowhere. And you emerge in a lava land that couldn't possibly exist. Theoretically, you could dig a deep enough hole in the ground and all the lava would just flow out into the world below and kill everyone. Remember the compiled 3D model of Dark Souls 1? Here's the model for Dark Souls 2. They're in the same place! In the DLC, you literally go back in time. The Age of Fire was ending, and reality on some level was ending with it. Dark Souls 2 gets constantly benefit not only from linearity leading to specific visuals, along with better planned encounters, but it's pushed up even further by embracing inconsistency. The result is that you're constantly parading through places that feel like they're out of a fantasy film or an 80s album cover. Take, for example, the Dragon Shrine right here. You get this majestic moment of a secret sky castle. I say that again, secret sky castle.
Yeah, so I think the inconsistency, like he's saying, does really work for what the game is trying to do. And with that being said, I want to go to the narrative. Let me just try to find it.
And find stories and what happened can be to contemplate how Gutter is very Blight Towny. Vendrick is a shadow of the man talked about in the lore and by the characters that remember him. He, like the fate of the rest of the undead, like the player's character will eventually become, has lost his mind. You don't have to fight Vendrick at all. He's not your enemy. He's just a man who lost his way and everything else with it. Small, not many.
So one thing the original Dark Souls did is the plot line is like, all right, they've created immortality. Everyone is undead. Everyone lives forever until you hollow, till your mind just goes numb, right? But Dark Souls 2, I feel like, really captures that. They show that. Dark Souls 1 says everything's forever, but we're still in the same civilization. We've been going for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Dark Souls 2 goes, we've gone through so many years, we have lost track. We are in the infinity times.
People notice is a small fractured piece of the Lord vessel from the first game. This is the best expression of what Dark Souls 2 is doing with its story. It's interested in telling a story about being unable to fully piece together what's happening as the character loses their minds in a doomed world of destroyed statues. Your character doesn't even know what a Lord Vessel is. To them, this is nothing, just a thing lying in the dust. It also represents the developers' attempts to do their own thing and move on, by reducing an iconic part of the previous game to a piece of rubble in a basement. For me, the weakest parts of the previous games is when I got handed a whole heap of names, roles, and backstory.
By the way, I hate how they still do this. Elden Ring is a great game and all, but it opens up with an intro cinematic that just makes zero sense until you've played the game once already and you have to watch it a second time. It's genuinely weak.
Demon's Souls did this too by just listing a bunch of people who went into the fog. I could just find those people and learn about them manually, but instead the first game's open with a needless roll call and a story about a fight with dragons that doesn't really tell me anything. The guys I'm going to kill killed a bunch of dragons a long time ago, and that's important because... One flaw in the themes of Dark Souls 1 was, for all its criticisms of the world Gwyn had built, an awful lot of time was dedicated to his kingdom, to exploring its majesty, and even when you darken Anor Londo, you still find yourself compelled to look upon his works and despair. Dark Souls 2 does the most compelling and interesting thing it could possibly do with the story of Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, Master of Anor Londo, King of Lordran. It asks, who? I don't even think he's mentioned by name at all. Gwyn may well have been a good and mighty king, but the lone and level sands stretch far away, and he is gone. The paranoid...
I am Ozymandias. See upon my works ye mighty and despair. It's a great video. Dark Souls 2 is underrated, and H-Bomber Guide does a great job of explaining why. Next up, we have number 15, The Existential Horror of Living in the Marvel Universe, by Some More News. So, Some More News is it's a weird one. It's a YouTube channel, but it's not just like a content creator. It's like a news show. It's a news program on YouTube, run by Cody Johnson with Katie Stoll. They are great people. They are very based. I spent a lot of time listening to them up to like the 2020 election, and I think they helped me get through that to some extent. Lately, I haven't been watching them that much just because the world is very depressing, and I've been finding myself able to partake in this type of video stuff very much. But still, great stuff. Highly recommend. But their videos don't appear on my video essays list that much, but I had to. Every now and then, Cody Johnston will get political about a piece of media. And I love it. I love it when media and politics comes together. It's so fun. And what he does is Marvel, the Marvel movies, the cinematic universe. These are slop movies for the most part. Most of them aren't very good. They're meant to appeal to the lowest common denominator, to as many people as possible. And so Cody Johnston goes, okay, but what if we tried to take that seriously? What if we actually tried to like do a news program within the Marvel universe? Wouldn't that be kind of horrifying, taking this world of superheroes and just running with it? And he does it in a way that like alludes to real life political news. He'll make like analogies. Like I remember he had one Star Wars one, which I didn't think was as good. That was his first time doing this. I think the Marvel one's better. But he has this bit with Jabba the Hutt where he compares Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars to basically Jeffrey Epstein. And it really works because like he has like slave children. It's okay. I was gonna play a bit of it. Let's watch.
Here's some Marvel news. It has been a fucking week for New York. I don't know if you remember this, what with the New Mexican demon tornadoes and Virginia College monster sighting, but the Stark Expo exploded just 5 damn days ago in Queens. You remember that? Remember when 2 lasers shot out of the convention center and like spun around, slicing everything in a 3-block radius before the center exploded. And then a bunch of other different explosions exploded, like big explosions, around the main convention center. And it just seems as though there's been a general ramp up of explosions ever since Iron Man, like, happened to the world, and how we only just learned that weapons manufacturer and really good dancer Justin Hammer might not
I'm gonna skip around a bit.
randomly attacked by robots now, I think. And I don't know, maybe we should create some new laws to perhaps regulate who gets robots. Now,
You see, he's comparing robots to guns, like firearm regulations. And like, yeah, if we had a bunch of killer robots, they would be kind of like guns.
everyone has a fucking robot. Seems like that kind of power shouldn't just be privately owned by a few people we trust to be the right hands for this technology, especially when they're this guy.
I have successfully privatized world peace.
Oh, okay, interesting. Do we have a clip of that? Anyway, speaking of literally what I just said, when asked about the expo and like, who's liable for all the explosions, billionaire Tony Stark smirked at the camera and said, I am Iron Man, before getting in a Humvee, and like, yeah, Tony, we know. Also, it seems like since denouncing weapons and a series of strategically unimportant Nazi bases and then dying. Like, he didn't even help win the war or stop Hitler or anything. Call it that. That's the name of this.
I love how critical he is. I love how angry he is. We need more like newscasters that just have complete righteous indignation at everything that's happening. He would make a great newscaster.
Now, but sure, let's go with it. So a big Hulk, Tony Stark, during the Granting Us Anything. Now, not so sure. Maybe there's something to those abduction stories, because again, they sure aren't telling us anything.
They make a big point about how like untransparent this world is. How the government, the news don't tell anyone anything. They cover everything up.
The government mercifully gifts us with some shred of information. So, boy, I guess that's it for now. I am absolutely exhausted. Join us next week for our New York charity episode. We're streaming live from the center of Manhattan. Hopefully, together we can pool up some money for the injured and uninsured and perhaps work on rebuilding Harlem. You know, it was a really hard week for New York City, but at least the worst is behind us. Heareth be news. The war criminal Loki was killed last week after suffering a fatal stab wound by a cursed warrior, which is odd because that man seemed a lot more formidable than that, but what if ever. We've been bouncing from one All-Father to the next for thousands of years here. Actually creates peace with Jotunheim, then frankly, I don't care who does it. Dye his eyebrows. And if he does, then does that mean he dyes his hair? His two idiot sons keep f***ing up realm after realm and receiving exactly zero accountability. Like, are we even going to try and clean up Midgard? According to Odin, Thor's hammer has the power to both destroy and build. But I sure as shit haven't seen any example of the latter. One of which is right here, so maybe we need to worry about that. So far,
Wait, hold on.
Did anybody look into that? I don't know, maybe I'm paranoid, but a member of the royal family was seen palling around with a cybernetic hive mind, surfing on fucking leviathans and shit, and nobody seems to be questioning that. Like, here is some news. The mad titan Thanos continues his tour of destroying half of every planet and randomly abducting children. According to reports, the swole genocide enthusiast is seeking out
Come on, guys. The swole genocide enthusiast. That's the best description of Thanos ever.
the Infinity Stone. Even you complete. Buy them. Well, that's pretty wait, yes? It's a magic rock. Yes. I've just been informed that I have been banished. But, I mean, I'm sure we can do about that. We're even getting some new Avengers added to the team, which includes James Rhodes, seems about time. Congratulations to the War Machine. As well as Sam Wilson, who you might have seen flying around like a goddamn bird these past few years. Pretty cool. Also, some newcomers. A Wanda Maximoff, who I'm now being told is the Dark Witch who brainwashed the Hulk into destroying Johannesburg. But, I mean, I'm sure she has her reasons. Until just now.
The Avengers and a group of mercenaries in Lago
Technology and use it as his plan to build a worldwide one anymore.
He talks about how in like the second Captain America movie, they explain that every bad thing America ever did was actually because of secret Nazis that infiltrate America. He's like, wow, that's a big one off our backs. Woo! Shoo. Turns out America was fine all along. Everything bad we ever did wasn't our fault.
On record saying that he trusts his own personal the board, and how semi-holographic just maybe I should call it attempts to capture the escaped convicts have been described as wacky. Select group of heroes or a whole bunch of villains. I know I sound like a broken record, but
and here he kind of dissects what Marvel's ideological failing is. Marvel's entirely built on the superhero mythos, the great man of history, that everyone is just kind of like NPCs, but there's a few special people that are able to change the world. And it's kind of a fascistic type of ideology. Like, I'm not saying Marvel's inherently fascistic, but it kind of leans on those ideas.
What's the point of withholding super technology in case it falls into the wrong hands when literally all of the wrong hands seem to have the technology already, and the only people who don't have access are regular people? Seems like there should be a middle ground between Darren Cross making an army of shrinking soldiers and Pym's technology, saying the entire reason he started doing super crime was because the DODC shut his salvage company down due to broken status. Inconvenient is it that all the people pointing out systemic failures turned out to be monsters that we can dismiss? Occasionally someone murmurs, well, the villains have a point, but it sure seems like nothing actually gets done beyond that. All ideological disagreements are ignored and left unsettled because some bigger threat comes along.
That was the biggest thing about the Civil War movie that I really hated. I actually thought the ideological disagreement between Iron Man and Captain America of like whether they should be like regulated by the government or not was an interesting schism, and the fact that Iron Man chose to be regulated and Captain America not was a bit of a reversal from how you'd expect them to have cited. And that never got answered, because instead they had to deal with Thanos.
And so the world, watch. I guess, if I know what that's about. They might even belong to Wakanda for all we know, because, well, nobody tells us anything. And in other news, Ant-Man has now been spotted on the roof of a parking garage next to a van equipped with what appears to be a retro-style robot anus or something. No word on whether that's good or bad, or if the van is gonna spring alive and kill a bunch of people in the name of abortion rights or whatever. There's literally no way to know, and frankly... What's that noise? Oh, thank God. Take me, darkness.
The Thanos snap. Now, interesting. So I think that's a perfect ending for this video, because I do feel like the whole Thanos Infinity War Endgame bit was when Marvel stopped being good. As good as it was anyway. It was a big climactic moment, and I don't think you can really recreate that. It was kind of a public zeitgeist type of thing. It was a cool moment. But there actually was a second part of this video, which I only discovered later after it came out. Where he talks about some of the stuff like post Endgame and whatnot. This video is good too, but I think the first part of the video is really why it's so high on my list. It's really the reason I love it, but I think this part 2 rounds it out. It finishes the narrative.
Our previous host, in order to more equally allot resources and save the environment and like life, I guess, in his mind. Now, unfortunately, he did this completely at random and without accounting for the various species and complex ecosystems on the Earth. So sadly, we did have to say goodbye to the giant panda, who by staggering odds were completely eliminated in the snap. Also weirdly, the entire country of Spain.
Yeah, that's really funny, because true randomness wouldn't just be consistent like that. Like, obviously, like with like hundreds of countries, the odds are not zero that just one country, if you eliminate half of all life in the universe, which is what Thanos did, would just be completely disappeared. Like, sorry, Portugal, you were unlucky. Or the pandas or whatever.
I guess. Anyway, it was all very sad and confusing. Journals found on his retirement farmhouse planet, he never once considered any of that as an option, but rather brainstormed other much, much worse ideas, like forcing all societies to move their industry into space, which is pretty silly stuff. But, you know, seems like he was just courting death. So, in related news.
That was a cool reference.
Matter, like...
Space probably growing.
And accidentally went to Avengers Total Landscape.
And then, the Thanos snap is undone.
Fuck. There appears to be some kind of goddamn spaceship, violence and everyone
Great for thirst, water.
MMA fighting. Like, nobody was trying money or being hoarded by just a few people at the
Absolutely
top.
nothing has changed, because I think that's one of the reasons the new Marvel movies were very disappointing. The series has kind of gone downhill, is just because after the Endgame, there wasn't really a status quo change. They didn't really change the way they did anything. Like, it's like nothing was learned. It's just back to the drawing board.
Maximizing profit superseded invention. And not only like 10 years ago, and I guess we're just now learning that happened. Seems weird that we're talking about this now and no one noticed it before. It's like a really big facility too. Ah, jeepers creepers. A continued expose. What just happened? Actually, seems like we might be spinning our wheels here, but it was pretty neat when I was all old-timey, huh? Cool gimmick for sure. Very entertaining.
And he's making fun of how the WandaVision TV show had actually really interesting beginning that was kind of meta, making fun of or not making fun of, but indulging in sitcoms and whatnot through the years, and then just completely threw that storyline out again to have another Marvel villain moment.
Weird that dead people are now just then there would be society changing and often destructive devices, but randomly decide to not help with other conflicts. And if they were theoretically here to protect the population of Earth.
And basically the entire thing goes down with the Eternals that no one liked, and then goes into the Loki TV show with the whole time agency. And I think he has a really cool use of the time agency dynamic to be able to talk about Marvel from within the lore, but also in a meta way, to talk about how as the series goes on, it just makes less and less sense because they're not really interested in keeping the world they've constructed consistent or cohesive.
The Celestials, because eventually it starts getting really contradictory and the logic just falls apart, or everything just seems like a pointless prelude to something else. Like how in WandaVision they sort of crammed Monica Rambeau in there just so they could set up her superpowers. I mean, if WandaVision was the name of a TV show and not a series of real events, and nothing matters, and everything is just getting more meta and compounding with weaving contradictions. You know what happened there?
It's kind of an indictment of multiverse fiction. I feel like the best multiverse fiction was Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I feel like a lot of times it's just used as a crutch to have IP crossovers.
Before filming plot holes. Did you see it yet? Again, we recorded this before it came out, so we couldn't really talk about it much, but I hope the me from the future likes it. Maybe we can cram a clip of me having just seen it before we release this. Do we have a clip of future me reacting to Spider-Man No Way Home? Pretty good. Oh, yeah! Thanks, future me. Hope you liked it. Or not. Doesn't matter. That might be pretty VA, but you probably figured this, and make sure to
All right. And the video just kind of falls apart, but I think it makes sense. Obviously, a video based in the Marvel world would just kind of fall apart at the end because Marvel fell apart. All right, next up we have number 14, Horror in Impossible Places, Liminal Spaces, and the Backrooms by Super Eye Patch Wolf. So I had kind of heard about liminal spaces before this video, but I didn't really understand it. This video helped me understand what that phenomenon, what that feeling was.
You ever been to a place where time stops for a while and what if that never changes? Low polygon, the details, all the function.
Oh, the space pool ones, this is horrifying. The idea of these liminal spaces that don't really make sense, that they're transitory, they're the in-betweens. It's a very unique type of horror that I feel like Control built on this. That's why I liked Control, but not a lot of fiction does.
Transforming them into in videos like this, nothing is fixed. Tumblr post. I really enjoy just existing your lifestyle in these frozen and find a swimming less like anything a human would design and more like these abstract approximations of living space.
I think one reason liminal spaces also work is because look, this is not made for humans. A lot of the construction we live in, concrete jungles, apartments, suburban, carbon-copied McMansions, these aren't actually made for humans. People talk about walkable cities, right? Those are attempts to try to make architecture made for humans to exist within. But a lot of, I think, our incentives with creating structures are just anti-human, like brutalist architecture, for example. And I think that's what makes liminal spaces so terrifying. Something that's supposed to be made for humans, but not really.
Thing is how people have cannot overstate how powerful an experience it was to be able to walk around inside them. The dream pool stage in particular.
And then also when these structures that are made for humans have no humans in them, that makes it particularly scary.
But it's worth noting that liminality is subjective. Image, untell, in borrowed living thing. Other is the impact it has.
He talks about the back rooms and how the back rooms is like the most famous example of liminality. But he talks about how it's kind of split off into its own thing, where you'll have like these monsters and whatnot try to attack you, and how that's separate from liminal horror. I think there is some overlap here. I think those things are related. I don't think it's as separate as he says, but I do think that a lot of Backrooms content doesn't really understand the liminal part of it. They just kind of have it be a somewhat creepy setting, and then they throw a monster in it. So I think a lot of Backrooms content it's like the SCP stuff I talked about earlier. SCP has some really cool, interesting stories in it, but there's also a lot of stories that are just like made by 13-year-olds to be super edgy. And I don't think like that's bad. Fan fiction is good, but naturally that means you're going to have some not so great written ones. And I hope that the people in writing those and making these bits of art in media, I hope they improve, because there's some really good stuff in there. I've seen some SCP stories that I thought were interesting, and I presume the same could be of Backrooms. I like liminal space stuff. I've seen some cool things here.
Personal favorite being Jerry's room. Like, I love that little guy. Does some of it come across a little repetitive or cliche or protection, like the killing of a sacred surreal artifact? There's one more.
And he gives what might be the best example of liminal horror to have ever been made.
Thing I'd like to talk about. House of Leaves is a strange book. Despite it being one of the most popular works of literary horror in the last 20 years, no film adaptation of it exists. There's not even an audiobook.
You know, in retrospect, I feel like this is why I really liked Welcome to Night Vale. Welcome to Night Vale being a podcast that, you know, delved into a bunch of different types of horror, but by being it really leaned into being a podcast that you couldn't visualize it in a sort of a liminal way. So recommend that, I guess, if you have like hours and hours of time to listen to a podcast. But so he's talking about here about House of Leaves, something that exists as a book and could not exist as anything else. It's like a literary dissection of a review of a film of a guy who finds out that the interior of his house is a few inches bigger than the outside. You know, that doesn't sound bad, does it? But it is. And eventually he finds a door in his house that goes into an impossible cataclysm of hallways. Super Eye Patch Wolves calls it the back rooms before the back rooms.
And what's so special about it, as if you, just like these characters, are being crushed by the impossible dimensions of this space. And soon, the entire construction of the book breaks down. Squares of ominous white and black bash out the centers of paragraphs. Single words are scattered nonsensically over dozens of pages, and the very rules of typography, of layout, of reading a book disintegrate into nothing. Just like the house on Ash Tree Lane, the book itself ceases to be bound by any conventional law, rule, or logic, until eventually one of the characters slips and plummets down one of the house's impossible abysses, and he falls and falls and falls and falls down through an endless black with no light, no sound, no beginning, no end, careening senselessly through the darkness till he can no longer tell if he's even falling anymore, till time ceases to flow as his mind buckles and snaps under an infinite existential kaleidoscope of insanity. And how frightening is that? The idea that those boundaries we've lost will never be restored, that we are trapped, forever plummeting through a vast, meaningless, nonsensical void. Our lives, our purpose, our identity, all disappearing into an endless abyss of nothing. This is the only time I've ever found a blank page terrifying.
I can really understand that. The idea is that the story has completely escaped you. You don't get to know what happens next. That's not for you. I love this video. It was very informative, and it kind of opened my eyes to an entire genre. All right, I know I've been going long. Please bear with me. Number 13, The Insanity of Gantz and Why You Should Care. Also by Super Eye Patch Wolf. Guy makes great video essays. This is about Gantz. There have been a few versions of Gantz, anime, some CG stuff, but the original version was a manga. Now, I'll give a bit of a trigger warning for a lot of edgy, dark concepts. But I wanted to talk about what Gantz was to me. So the manga of Gantz is one of the few manga I have ever actually read. I'm just not really a manga reader. I watch anime more than I read manga. But there was just, I don't know, I saw it. It seemed kind of edgy, but, I was young. There was a lot more nudity than I was personally comfortable with. But despite that, I kind of just kept with it. It was too interesting not to. And so this to me is an example of an extremely edgy piece of media that still manages to have a real heart to it. And if you're able to buckle down and get through edgy media to look for that core, I would recommend Gantz, though you'd have to read the manga because there hasn't been a great anime based off of it. Some manga are good and they have like wishy-washy anime. I think One Piece is a common example of this, where if you want the full One Piece experience, you have to read the manga because all the adaptations are like partial.
Okay, picture this. You and a buddy are waiting for a train at your local train station when suddenly a homeless man falls down onto the tracks, just as 3,000 tons of locomotive begins to barrel towards him. And being the upstanding young gentleman you are, you climb down onto the tracks in an attempt to save him, which you do, but both you and your well-intentioned friend are struck by the same train and killed. You are now dead. Or are you? You awaken in a small apartment overlooking Tokyo's skyline with a group of other people who have all also recently died. In the center of the room lies a giant black orb which begins singing and speaking and tells you that your lives are now forfeit, and tasks you with hunting and killing this alien. You're armed with some highly advanced alien weaponry and rather revealing bodysuits before being teleported into the streets of Tokyo where the hunt begins. A hunt that seems simple at first until things go wrong. Things go very, very wrong. After a horrific struggle of which only a fraction of your team actually survives, you're teleported back to the apartment, each given point totals based on your performance, and hooray! You may now return to your...
Alright, so yeah, Gantz is basically a story where people die and they get resurrected, but now they are basically slaves to some ineffable system where they have to fight aliens. It's like it's a little Power Rangers-esque, but in like such a dark fashion. And these people have to do it if they want to survive. And it's just what, Super Eye Patch Wolf talks about it, but what makes these really terrifying is that you're not just fighting mindless monsters. You're not just fighting critters. These aliens they fight are intelligent. They are people or beyond people. These are like, it's like a war. It is like watching Ukrainians fighting Russians. It is gruesome, and no one wants to be there. They're being forced to fight because of powers beyond them they don't know. And I think that's what makes it really so captivating and terrifying. Like there are problems with it has some sexism and racism and stuff, and that's not great. But like I said, there's a genuine heart here. Like the main character, was his name? Key. this is good for him. It's a chance for him to finally fight a war that he never got to fight. You know, like how a lot of young men want to die in a war. But his best friend.
But then immediately this layout is contrasted with the third panel, showing Gantz's secondary main character, Kato, in the same composition. But that negative space is filled with his little brother, Kato, racked with anxiety over having to return to the apartment.
He has something to lose, his little brother. And yeah, I'm going to skip ahead to some dark stuff here. Actually, you know what? Actually, let's do some funny stuff before we do that.
One of the later battles involves our heroes being attacked by Salvador Dali's 1936 surrealist painting, Soft Construction with Boiled Beans. There is a cute frog who steals people's shoes, who is also a nightmarish hell creature. One of the participants of Gantz is a panda who forms a loving, meaningful relationship with a serial killer. George Clooney is there. This panel happens, and finally, one of the aliens encountered is a robotic version of the 1970s Japanese folk singer Seiji Tanaka, who sings his songs in a creepy robotic voice and is piloted by giant sentient crow fetuses. Oku, you are a strange man. If you got
Alright, let's get to the dark bit.
Powerful and dangerous, the alien fear only that equipment is unreliable, often not working the way the characters expect, and frequent on there's a problem with actually equip their suits, and so by the time teleportation begins, identified unpredictable attacks, as well as its ability to heal itself from
So there's this one alien that disguises itself as the Buddha, and it is just a monster. Right when the main characters think they finally know how to play the game, it just all comes apart.
Injury to massacre several members of the team, including some of the most experienced. And from here, the battle begins to take a nightmarish turn, as one by one the team fall to the invincible monstrosity, including Kurono himself, who during a brief skirmish with the creature has both his arm and leg severed, leaving him in a bloody pile on the temple floor as his life begins to bleed out. The only thing that can save him now is if he can live long enough for one of the other members of the team to defeat the alien and end the game, at which point he'll be teleported back to the apartment, his body fully restored, a hope that grows ever fainter with each passing second as life after life is snuffed out by the demonic statue, until only Kato is left. Kato, badly injured but desperate to save Kurono and return home to his little brother, fights the monstrosity with everything he has, sustaining heavy damage and even losing an arm, but just as things feel hopeless, he strikes one final, desperate, fatal blow against the creature. Only it's not fatal. The alien being emerges from its damaged shell and takes on the appearance of one of Kato's dead team members. And from here begins viciously beating and mocking an exhausted Kato. And just as the light starts to fade, Kato makes one final desperate attack. And it works. He kills the creature, ending the game. He's done it. Kato can now return home to his little brother. He and Kurono are saved. Only for the creature in one final hateful gasp to impale Kato before dying. And in the pouring rain, as Kato's life begins to slip away, teleportation back to the room begins, and Kurono awakens alone in the apartments. But then, in the silence of the empty room, he comes to a horrifying realization. Kato, along with every other member of his team, is dead.
Kato's brother never finds out what happened to him. It's so sad. And this guy, the main character, finally found a found family, and they just all get massacred. It's so brutal, but like, it's not edgy. It's tragic, and it's beautiful, and I hate it and I love it, and it's just so many feelings. This is why I kept reading Gantz. I just couldn't put it down. And, you know, it's a low point, but, you know, just to balance it out, Super Eye Patch Wolf does, like, cover how, like, the point of Gantz is that through all the brutality and tragedy, there is hope, there is a light, there is a future. he talks about this almost like superhero like muscle builder character who was killed in a mass shooting. He bonds with this child, and he finds the child was killed by a inattentive, neglectful mother. And I have to show this. Oh, hold on. Molten Core says, "Hi Kyle, your video on Homestuck was really good. What are your thoughts on the Vriska stuff that happened in Beyond Canon after your video?" I covered the break stuff in another stream after that because that came out after my Homestuck video. I appreciate that though. Thank you for watching and liking it. Yeah, I think it's cool that Vriska basically got to become like Ultimate Ninja Warrior basically. I did criticize the weird age stuff they did with Vriska, where they kind of retconned that she was a child, even though it seemed like she had aged into an adult, like Terezi had. But it's whatever. Her new powers are cool. The break video or animation was really good. I had some critiques, but ultimately I liked it. And Sadie Fatalis says, "Wow, you want to read Gantz now?" Yeah, I would recommend it. Warning: there is some sexism, and it does depict sexual assault. So that's a pretty big pill to swallow, and I understand that's going to be an issue for people. Molten Core says, "Do you like JoJo's?" Okay, I've heard of JoJo's. People have recommended it to me. Looking at it, a whole bunch of big muscular dudes using like magic powers at each other, it didn't really seem to appeal to me. Maybe that's a superficial observation. I should still give it a chance. I haven't done that, to be honest. I hear good things. I haven't set aside time to watch it. All right, I'm gonna play this bit. So I just showed you Super Eye Patch Wolf talking about one of the most depressing moments in Gantz. Now here is an uplifting moment to show you what's the point of all of it.
Is the first one to be teleported in as family, the two becoming inseparable. But then, in the beginning of the next game, things take a horrifying turn. Takashi is the first one to be teleported into the battleground, leaving the 4-year-old alone on the streets of Osaka, vulnerable to whatever horror awaits. One of which emerges from the shadows and begins making its way towards the helpless boy. Takashi tries to run away, but it's useless. The creature catches him in its cold alien grasp, lowers its face to his, and closing its jaws around his tiny skull. Takashi is killed. Oh, wait, hang on. No, he isn't. Takashi, channeling all his power into a single devastating strike, destroys the creature by imitating the very movements he's seen Kaze perform countless times. And upon witnessing this, Kaze is overcome with emotion and love for Takashi, and he breaks down in tears. That love awakening a new strength in Kaze, now fighting not just for himself, but in the hope of one.
There's something so beautiful about seeing big muscle bears caring for tiny little children. Like, I don't know, like that's something that really got me about Danganronpa a lot, is like just like the teddy bear muscle characters, and that's exactly what this is. To me, this kind of explains what the point of Gantz is. It's like living through horror, and considering the nature of the world, that is a type of narrative I really empathize with. So I recommend Gantz if you can take some really challenging subjects, and challenging subjects that aren't handled very well a lot, to be honest. But that's number 13. So number 12, my top 12 video essay, Yoko and the Beatles by Lindsay Ellis. Sadie Fatala says, Super Eye Patch Wolf has a video series named Why You Should Watch JoJo, and it's really great. Yeah, his Why You Should Watch videos are a little older. I think I might have watched one, but it didn't convince me. Not that, it's just, I have a list of shows I have to catch up on. I just recently watched Dandadan, even though that's been out for a year. Animation quality was great. It ended very abruptly, and in a very strange way that I didn't care for. But maybe season 2 will fix that. We'll see. But yeah, there's just a lot of shows I just haven't gotten around to watching. Nothing against JoJo's, it's just not something I've engaged with. Molten Core says, it's funny because JoJo's characters stopped being buffed in part 3 and became twinks part 4 onwards. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I could put it on my watch list, but I got a lot of things on my watch list. All right, so we're gonna do Yoko and the Beatles. This is one of Lindsay Ellis's more recent video essays. She made this after a yeah, after her what do I even call it? Her mask off video. I'll just say that. And I think this video is really, really well made. It's one of her best ones. And it covers a subject about music and stuff that I just didn't really know that much about.
On December 6, 1980, a man named Mark David Chapman flew from his home in Hawaii to New York. On December 8, 1980, Chapman went to a local bookstore, bought a copy of The Catcher in the Rye, and signed it,
"This is my statement, Holden Caulfield."
He then took a taxi to the Dakota, the Central Park West building John Lennon co-owned with his wife, Yoko Ono. Lennon and Ono had just released their first album in 5 years, Double Fantasy, which had only just that day entered the top 40. At around 5 p.m. on December 8th, Lennon and Ono left the Dakota to go to their recording studio. They always had fans hanging around the building, and before getting into their car, Lennon signed Chapman's copy of Double Fantasy. When John and Yoko returned to the Dakota in their limo at around 10:50 p.m., Chapman had not left his spot in front of their home. First responders arrived in minutes and hurried Lennon into his squad car while Chapman sat on a stoop, placidly reading his copy of Catcher in the Rye. John Lennon died a few minutes later. His front desk receives him as he a bomb son the Beatles of the Sons of Dolly Dubrow Yoko
Really?
Okay, skipping forward. Come on.
Beatles.
Okay, here
This
we go.
giant Beatles bag that, like, you can see from a miles away. It's a designer thing I bought in Vegas. I don't think they make it anymore. And this boomer next to me looks at the bag and he looks at my computer and he goes, "Oh, you like the Beatles?" And I'm like, "Yeah, working on a thing." And hand to Christ, the next thing out of this guy's mouth is, Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles." And I'm like, "Are you serious? I can't tell if you're joking." And he's like, "No, I'm not joking." And I'm like, that of all the little factoids that you could drop, all the questions you could ask about the most successful, popular, well-documented band of all time, the one thing you have to say about them is the greatest and most persistent lie. Cool.
So that's what this video is about. The video is about the Beatles, the most popular band to come out of Britain. And it's about Yoko, the girlfriend of John Lennon, wife of John Lennon, and about the myth that it was her that destroyed the Beatles. Molten Core says, "The whole Chapman thing reminds me of the guy that was obsessed with Bjork. Glad his plan failed." I don't know about that story, but the thesis of this video, Lindsay talks about this, is about how some people are so desperate for fame, they look at the Beatles, they look at other famous people, and they get jealous. They feel irrelevant. They feel like they're nothing. They're trash people in their lives, and they want to be famous. And infamy is still fame. And so they kill a very high status person. This Chapman guy kills John Lennon, assassinates him. And that's his claim to fame. He gets put in the history books, just like Oswald, just like sorry, I'm forgetting some of the assassins' names. I guess John Wilkes Booth would qualify as that too. But people try to kill these big celebrities, and a response to that is that a lot of these celebrities start getting like bodyguards and stuff, and they're harder to kill. So what do they move on to? When you can't kill John Lennon anymore, what do you move to? And the answer is mass shooting. This is why we have mass shooters. We have a society of people desperate for fame, and the only way they can think to do it is through infamy. Since they can't kill one big important person, they instead kill a whole bunch of defenseless people that can't defend themselves. Children, often children, or sometimes like gay people and stuff. So I think this video really explains America's epidemic with mass shooters by talking about where that originally came from, the assassination of celebrities. She also talks about how fame wasn't really good for these celebrities. Yoko, John Lennon, the other Beatles. She uses other examples like Britney Spears, Amber Heard, Kurt Cobain, and how like fame was really bad for them too. Fame is kind of destructive, and I think it's a very interesting analysis of these themes and what we can learn from analyzing the Beatles. Molten Core says the Jork guy basically fell in love with her. I don't know what Jork guy means. And got obsessed, and when people found out she had a boyfriend, he tried to send a bomb to her, but the police intercepted it. Sounds bad. It's crazy because those are things that happen a lot in Korea and Japan with weirdos obsessed with idols. Oh my goodness, I have heard some stories about stuff idols have to go through. I feel like J-pop and K-pop idols, especially the girl ones, might have like some of the worst situations with fame ever, because not only do they have to deal with being extremely used and abused by the industries that own them, but also they have to deal with these really obsessive fans. And I don't think most fans of J-pop or K-pop are that bad, to be honest, but the worst ones are the ones that are going to be right up in the idols' faces. Those are the ones they'll have to deal with the most of the time. So yeah, I think this is an amazing video. I can't actually play that much of it because, of all the music that's going to get me copyrighted. But I think I've explained why it's amazing. All right, our last one for today. And then, next week I'll do the top 10. We have number 11. Pathologic is genius, and here's why. Another H-Bomber Guy one. This one, I remember... This is a category of H-Bomber Guy video I call the longest video he's ever made until the next one. This is talking about Pathologic. H-Bomber Guy, let's go. Yep. So this is like one of those like old like cult classic video games that a lot of people will put as one of their best games ever. It's not really my style, to be honest. I probably wouldn't put it on my top 10 list, but I love this video because H-Bomber Guy really explains why he thinks it's one of the best games ever. And I think he does a great job of explaining it. Molten Core says his Ruby video almost made me want to watch Ruby, but then I never got around to it. I actually knew someone who worked for Rooster Teeth who they didn't get to work on Ruby. They worked on Genlock. And I was so jealous, although Rooster Teeth isn't really a thing anymore, so I don't know. Probably still worth the experience to see the behind the scenes on that.
Great play, Mark. It's a real killer. Pathologic is one of the best and smartest games that's ever been made. And that's true because no one's played it. Okay, that's not quite accurate. A fair amount of people have tried to play it. The Steam release has achievements, and there's an achievement for surviving the first of the 12 in-game days. A day lasts about 2 hours. According to its global gameplay stats page, just 13.2% of all players made it that far. The achievement for day 1 is called I'm Not Dead. It's just that kind of game. It occupies a certain kind of space in game criticism. Some game critics, mostly the ones who are...
I'm going to do my take on it. This video is basically about the game that shows you that games don't have to be fun. This is a game that is meant to torture you, and it's rewarding despite that. It is a game that is genuinely challenging to the point of being frustrating. Not that it's like difficult per se, but that it's challenging. The word challenge is often used synonymously with difficulty, but it's more just like the game hurts you. The game berates you. Molten Core says, early 2000s video games and music, how I love you. I hate that I can't play more music. Pathologic music should be fine, but just in general, doing the streaming stuff, I have to be so choosy about music to play and it hurts.
People keep saying it's great. I think it's great too. It's an incredible game that barely anyone will have the resilience to actually play long enough to appreciate, and that's maybe even the point. So, this time on the assorted mess of unrelated concepts that can scarcely be called a YouTube channel, I'm the weirdest character select.
Oh, sorry. I want to also say this game is about like a epidemic. And after COVID, I don't know, that just kind of really resonates with me. This video kind of aged really well. Multicore says pathologic is hard in the same way fighting Zeus at the start of God of War is. You are massively nerfed and are meant to lose. Yeah, I could see that.
Process I've ever experienced. Go to meet him, and you learn from Simon's brother Georgie that he died right before you got there. Much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues, actually works in the context in you or even traveling up to resist the plague.
One of the things he talks about is how the first fight in the game you are basically meant to lose. The game teaches you, don't start fights, you will die.
Kind of? Not really. When the plague becomes a factor, if you walk into a cloud of plague or get touched by a plague carrier or bitten by a rat, you get the plague. Your immunity defaults to 50%. There's expensive medicines you can take which increase it temporarily, but these also hurt you to use, and you have to use quite a few to raise your meter a useful amount. If the meter's absurdly high, and I mean close to 100%, and you're wearing a couple clothes that protect from infection, if you get hit by the plague, you might not get infected. It'll just lower your immunity a bunch so you get infected the next time you touch something. Hooray! If you get infected, you start to lose health over time, and occasionally your camera gets all wobbly and distorted, and your infection level starts to raise non-stop, and as it gets higher, the effects will get worse. And if you get too infected, some NPCs will try to kill you with fire. There are antibiotics which decrease your infection level, but these also hurt you to take, and they're also expensive, and don't actually stop the plague once you're infected. How do you cure the plague? You can't! Fuck you! Don't catch the plague, shithead! That's not really up for discussion, is it? It's a fucking plague. Plagues are really bad, statistically, in Europe.
Yeah, alright. So I'm a little unsure of how I should cover this one. He talks about so much. It's a 2-hour video. There's so many things about this game that are cool, and there's a lot of meta stuff too. There's like 3 different doctors you can play as, each with a different philosophy. You can play as like a very, hoity-toity, like academic doctor. You can play as like a witch doctor, and then you can play as like a magic girl, basically. And there's, he talks about some of the spoilers about the meta stuff. Like, the game does a sort of like it's all a dream fake twist ending just to hurt you, because people get hurt by it's all a dream ending. So it does a fake out of one and hurts you. The game is just painful. He talks about how there is a Pathologic 2 that tries to remake at least part of it, and he recommends you play it. I have tried playing Pathologic 2, but to be honest, like I said, it's not really my kind of game. I played for 30 minutes, couldn't find a save point. I had to go do something, and so I lost all my progress, and I just never played again. So I don't know. I don't know if this is for me, but I'm glad it exists. It's like the Alan Wake and Control situations. I'm glad this game exists. Molten Core says, they say that at the end of Pathologic, the game plays Penumbra Phantasm. I'm guessing that's a track, a cool song or something. But yeah, this is a great video. I'm going to try to find just a really cool point to end on here or something.
Even more frustrating than before, and yet more walking. Maybe I have more power than the In a sense, maybe I am. I'm going to say the word now. Now. When did I say that? Looking at the clock, it's 4:16 a.m. on the 9th of November 2019. But
that was 6 years ago.
When did I really say it? Now, will be 27 and talking about Pathologic forever, even if you come back in another 27 years. Maybe I'm immortal.
So you can see how deep this game gets, of the fact that he's even talking about this. It's a little pretentious, but he makes the point that it's not really pretentious because the game just is that deep, whereas pretentious implies you're deeper, you're pretending to be deeper than you actually are. And the game just has a lot of actually interesting stuff to say. So I think that's number 11. That just barely failed to make it into my top 10. So next week, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 video essays of all time. That's what this whole series has been leading up to. I probably am going to go long again. Sorry, Kira. I know you're like Kyle, you're late. But yeah, these are just amazing videos. I highly recommend them. Next week, after I go over the top 10, I'll drop the spreadsheet so that all of you guys can just click the links and find them. But right now, I don't want to do that because I don't want to spoil what the top 10 actually is. I will get to that next time. Thank you guys for watching. Now, I'm going to take a break, just like go to the bathroom and whatnot. And then when I get back, I'm going to get my partner Kira, and we're just going to play some like custom modded Nazi zombies, kill some Nazis, have some fun, chill out, because, you know, it's a little bit of effort to be like ranting for 2 hours straight in front of a screen. So yeah, please don't leave if you're interested in seeing some fun arcadey shoot 'em up game, I guess. Are FPS called shoot 'em ups? Whatever. Basically an adjacent genre. Thank you guys for watching. I will be right back. Oh, Afani Puff says, in the melody of Bye 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 by NSYNC, Kyle, Kyle, Kyle. Well, you know what, Afani? If you wanna go to earlier in the video, I talked about Marvel. So I know you like Marvel, so you might like that. The existential horror of living in the Marvel universe. I know it's probably more critical than you would care for, but you know, it gives credit where it's due. So it's not completely negative. I think you'll still like it. Anyway, I will be right back, and then I'm going to get the wifey on the line to kill some Nazis. Thank you for watching so far. Be right back. Hello. I'm back. I'm just waiting on Kira to make her coffee. She wanted to make coffee during the break, so I'm calling her out for that. Calling her out as a dirty coffee drinker. I hate coffee. Coffee's disgusting. This is another example of me being based, by the way. Just make it out to be like, oh no, I don't drink coffee for environmental reasons. I'm basically a super vegan, but no, I just think it's disgusting. Personally, I don't like the taste. It's bitter. People add milk to it, and in so doing, just like, yeah, heavy milk coffee is better than like black coffee because it's less coffee. Anyway, that's Kyle's coffee takes. Let's see if she's available to play yet. All right, gonna try to call her, and then we can play some zombies.
Hi.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey.
I made fun of you for drinking coffee.
Yeah, well, fuck you too.
Can you do some test talking for me just to test your audio?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm moving around.
Just make sure the cord's not obstructed so you don't get any, like, tinniness.
Yeah, alright. But,
Alright, so this is Kira. This is my wifey.
Yes, hi.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I like coffee, okay?
Skill
white
issue.
chocolate mocha is so good.
Or you could just have white chocolate. Alright, so I'm going to switch over now to playing zombies. We have a link in the chat for being able to afford more zombie games. This is going to be our last time playing on the very old World at War game. We have to use it with plutonium because the game is full of hackers, and that's the only way to get around that.
You have to do that with Black Ops 1 and 2, too.
We will, yes. It's a great resource that exists. Like, genuinely, it's not safe for this game to be up on Steam. It is full of malware.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta turn the home stick music off. Alright, let's get to playing some games.
So do you want to play Der Riese 2.0?
Yes, that is the last custom map that we have, the last modded one. We'll be playing the beloved classic zombies level of Der Riese, killing a bunch of Nazi zombies at the Nazi facility. But we are going to be playing a modded version that ports a whole bunch of stuff from the newer games into this level. Normally, I haven't really wanted to play levels like that had that were just like back ports, but I figured this one would be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Der Riese is such a good level.
Sorry, can you test your audio again? You sound very different there for a second.
Sorry, I was just a little far away, but yeah, I think Der Riese is a really good level.
Okay. Again, try to check that the cord's not obstructed because you sound a little tinny.
It's good.
If you say so. Alright, so I'm going to start. Are you ready to join, sweetie?
Yes.
Okay. That was very loud. What is going on over there?
Yes, I'm ready to join.
Oh, okay. Make sure you're at a constant distance from the mic, sweetie.
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
Fine.
Alright, I am starting it up. Join now. This game is so old, she has to literally join with console commands.
Yep.
Alright, you're in?
Yep. Wow, this looks so much better.
Yeah, so they've definitely up-resed basically everything. I think they took the textures from Black Ops.
That makes sense.
Alright, so anyone not familiar, we're in the Nazi facility. It's kind of an arcade mode where they come in waves. We have to just survive as long as possible. And there's zombies, but they were Nazis, so they're extra evil and okay to shoot.
Well, zombies are usually okay to shoot anyway.
Wait a minute.
Because they'll eat you if you don't.
Oh, I think you shot at a zombie I shot at. I was surprised it died so fast.
I didn't shoot at any zombies over there.
No, but they moved between those two windows.
Oh, okay.
So, I know this level very well, so I'll probably be playing to the usual strategy I do when I play Riese. But there's new stuff here, so that'll be fun to explore.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, they added new stuff, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
That's cool.
And I'm playing as the American, you're playing as the Russian.
Ah. Do we want to open any doors?
We need to save up more points before we can afford that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of aliasing here. This game clearly wasn't made to have graphics of this fidelity.
Yeah.
Oh, we have someone, Reaper 1540, Yahoo! And then a bunch of anime girls. I approve. Welcome. I'm reminded of a bit by Dreg, the very edgy anti-centrist like YouTube creator, who once made a joke about how all of the radical ideologies can agree on one thing, and that's that they have anime profile pictures.
Yeah.
Reaper says that's my way of saying hi. Hello. Okay, Kira, what is your favorite anime girl? Go.
Oh, no. Fuck you for even asking.
Reaper says, so a really good question. What are you, buddy? Well, oh, you know, I forgot to change to the gaming state. There we are. I'm Kyle Marshiku. I am he, her, cute eldritch entity that pretends to be your equal. That's the tagline, anyway.
Yes. Alright. Oh, more zombies coming.
I made a Homestuck video essay about why Homestuck is good, actually. That got some views lately. Before that, I was actually big in the Call of Duty Zombies community. I made a big storyline documentary thingamajig that gave me a little taste of fame. Got 1 million views on a viral video once or twice. Since then, though, you know, just kind of struggled. This is just a side thing I do on the weekends. Burumi from Date A Live? I don't know that one. No, like, what's your model? Yeah, this is just a squid girl, eldritch squid girl that I drew myself to be my avatar. I wanted to be a eldritch thing beyond knowing that was sexy and had chesticles. So, yeah.
And isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Oh, no!
I couldn't afford to I couldn't afford to get a like one of those big crap, what are they called? VTuber rigs.
VTuber. Yeah.
So I just drew something myself and animated it myself because I used to be an animator, so I knew how to do that. And I think it worked out pretty well. Obviously, I'm limited and I only have like a set of 9 emotional states. And while I'm video gaming, I'm too concentrated to use anything but the gaming emotion. Because gaming is an emotion.
Yes.
How's the volume sound? I feel like the voices are a little loud. I'm going to lower it a bit. Well, that's nice. Thank you. But anyway, Kira, you never said your favorite anime girl. Leave the last one alive.
Okay. I'm not sure. It's really hard to choose, okay?
Well, we're going to be playing a bit. Think about it. Molten Core says, COD Black Ops 2 Zombies is one of those universal gaming experiences I never really tried. I was honestly really surprised to hear that Black Ops 2 Zombies was considered like the peak experience by some people. I don't think that's actually the case. I think Black Ops 1 Zombies is peak Zombies, and I do think most people think that. But I think Black Ops 2 tried to do something different, and that stuck with people a lot. So a lot of people have fond memories of Black Ops 2 Zombies. But I think Black Ops 1 Zombies is superior. Anyway, we should probably get going. We have a lot of points, so let's go.
Okay.
Keep a lookout for new things in this modded version.
I think I've made a decision.
Oh, okay.
The grandmother from Dun Dun Dun.
Really? Her?
Yes.
What? She doesn't even have a
love
name. She's just Granny.
I love her so much, though.
Ooh, Ammomatic. Can you open this door?
Okay.
I need to find some lead.
Why do you like her so much?
She's so badass and interesting in that way, and like also kind of takes no shit.
I do kind of like the idea of a like hot older woman, because anime is really starved for people that are older than 18.
Yeah. That's another thing about her that I like, is that she's a hot older woman.
Reaper says, so you are into grannies. Okay, so Reaper, if you haven't watched Don Don Don, Granny is, she's a very hot babe, basically. It's kind of like an arch-druid thing, where she's into some, like, yokai magic or something that keeps her looking young.
Yeah. She has silver hair, and she probably looks like maybe she's in her 40s.
I have watched it. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that when my wife said she was into grannies, for people who didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
Molten Core says, the thing is that Black Ops 1 and 2 are one of those games that nearly everyone tried. That static electricity is actually kind of annoying. I want to lower the volume again.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that everyone has tried or at least knows, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or DBZ Budokai Tenkaichi 3. DBZ Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was the best one. It was the best Dragon Ball game. Not enough people give it the attention it deserves. Yes, it was extremely unbalanced. I do not care.
I got a grease gun.
Oh, yep, there's new guns in this one. Let's not start the level yet, just because I'm kind of talking with chat a little bit, alright?
Yeah, that's fine.
Black Ops 1, though, yeah. I think Black Ops 1 for a long time was one of the best-selling video games of all time. Grand Theft Auto is in a similar situation. Everyone's been losing their minds over the new Grand Theft Auto 6 game. And, like, I don't know, it feels a little Marvel-esque to me, like lowest common denominator meant to be appealable to everyone. Like, I'm sure it'll be good, I guess, but I don't care.
I've never really played much of any of the Grand Theft Auto games.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5 was, like, huge, right? It was giant when it came out. And I remember playing it, and the story was complete garbage. I actively hated the story. I did play the game a bit in the multiplayer mode, and obviously just goofing around and killing cops and stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. It was a fine game. I wasn't wowed by it. I didn't play it for 10 years. I just played it for, like, a couple months and then put it down.
I'm out of juice.
Yeah.
Reaper says, I'm happy to play GTA 5. Yeah, I don't see a need for 6. Also, I guess I'm a little bummed out because I feel like the game industry is kind of dead in America. We have so few companies left actually making games. And we have, like, the 5 AAA companies with, like, the one big game a year. And so, like, in a context where we're not getting that many games anymore, getting Grand Theft Auto is just like, oh, this is one of the few we get. All right, I guess.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying the Oblivion remaster that came out, but that was so unexpected.
Also, Reaper says, I'm watching anime from 2018, and I have given up, man, like 1 more year. I don't care anymore. I'm not really sure what that means. Sorry. Molten Core says, the oldest woman that average anime fan can tolerate is 21. True. If there's a sexy anime babe that you like, and it turns out, oh, she's technically, like, 18 or 17, I don't think that's the same thing as, like, I don't know. Like, there is pedo stuff involved there, but I would blame the writers for that, not you, because the character is drawn to look like an adult. It's not your fault you were bait and switched.
I'm out of juice.
I like Ryoko.
Yeah, from like Kill la Kill, that she's probably the prime example of that. You don't even find out that she's 17 until the show's almost over, and you have to do like anime age math to figure that out.
Yeah.
Molten Core says, in Latin America, Tenkaichi 3 is the best game ever. Everyone agrees here. We love DBZ as much as Japan. I have heard that Mexico specifically is, like, really into Dragon Ball. I remember hearing a story where, like, the Mexican government, like, violated copyright by playing it at, like, an event at one point, which was kind of funny. And then GTA 5 was loved because of GTA Online, to be honest. Yeah, a little bit. I liked going around the multiplayer mode and playing with people, but I felt like most of them were kind of toxic. I don't think it added that much to the experience. Alright, I'm gonna go get a gun now.
Okay.
Arasaka! I got the worst weapon in the game! Why did they put the worst weapon in the game in the box? Oh, Beretta M38. I don't know this one. Molten Core says DBZ is massive in all of Latin America, Mexico too, but the thing is that whenever the US hears about something going on in Latin America, they just say Mexico. Well, the example I was talking about was specifically in Mexico. That's where that thing happened. But yeah, it's big all over. It's sad because there is a country here called You Are Gay, and it's the funniest thing ever. Yeah. Well, I think it's Uruguay, right? But yeah, I get the joke. All right, you ready to move on to the next round?
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta pick an anime girl.
Yes, you do.
Oh no. The problem is my two favorite anime are Pluto and Madoka Magica, and neither of them really has hot anime babes. One of them is mostly men, and the other one is mostly children. So, I don't know. Kill la Kill's cool, I guess. What else is there? Okay. I think I have to pick Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail.
Oh, really?
I just think, she's a hot babe and all, but I think she also has a really cool personality. Like,
yeah, she's really cool.
Whenever she has, like, those fan service moments, she owns it. She's not like other characters like Lucy, where she's like, oh no, I'm undressed, I'm being violated. She's just like, no, I'm hot, I know it, deal with it, I will kill you.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on. Also, I think Fairy Tail's an underrated anime. As far as shonen goes, I think it's pretty good. Is there any anime we've watched lately besides Dandadan? What's the last anime we watched before that? I forget. Oh. No, then that one wasn't very good. Anyway, Molten Core says, you really knocked it out of the park in your Homestuck video with the we should have more series with adult characters instead of children, because dear God, My Hero Academia would benefit from that. Yeah, that's basically the main reason I haven't watched My Hero Academia. I've heard really good things, but the child thing is such a drawback. It is such a I am so sick of kid protagonists.
Literally, my favorite character in Neon Genesis Evangelion was the adult, what was her name? Momo?
Reaper says, just say Riese from High School DxD.
Oh, Riese!
So, unfortunately, I do know who that character is, and I would say no. Like, that, do not even put that character in the same breath as Urza. She also has red hair, and maybe you would superficially think she has that type of, like, hardcore I will kill you vibe, but it's all a front. At the end of the day, she just wants a boyfriend. Like, that's a series that gets extremely sexual, but ultimately is all just about kissing and holding hands. Like, talk about some tepid pornography. I do not recommend.
Yeah. I forget what her name is. What's the name of that character in...
What?
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Which one?
The adult woman general?
The only adult woman, yes. The purple hair girl, Misato, I think?
Yes, Misato. Misato.
Yeah, but then the movie made her a pedophile.
Yeah, the movie was terrible.
Alright, I'm getting Juggernog.
Okay.
So I'll be able to survive longer.
I will get Juggernog as well.
Molten Core says Misato. Yeah. We watched Evangelion relatively recently because everyone said we had to watch it, so we finally got around to watching it. And look, I think the TV show is a very flawed, I guess, masterpiece. But there's some real pedo stuff in it that drags it down, but I think the series still has value despite that. The movies, however, just are complete pedo crap, and I do not recommend them even a little.
They're garbage.
Worst movies ever. Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, we watched the first movie. We didn't go beyond that because that movie was the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Molten Core says, I watched it a few years ago, but I never watched the rebuilds. I only watched till the movie. Yeah. There's also this bit where the movie clearly was made by someone who hated his fans. And, like, we can talk about why, and there's some discussion, some controversy there, but it's very clear, like, it was meant to hurt you. And not in the fun way like Pathologic did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a gun, because I have some terrible guns.
Okay.
What is this? PPS 43. Interesting. Alright. I'm ready to move on when you are, sweetie.
Let me see if I can get a decent gun.
Oh!
MG42, is that decent?
It is the best Nazi weapon.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Oh. What?
They added super sprinters.
Oh no.
Molten Core says, Evangelion shares it with AOT and the whole, hi, I'm the author, I hate you guys. Guess that also happens with Andrew Hussey, technically. I think people really overstate Andrew Hussey hating his fans. I think they really overstate that. I think he just made a series that was challenging its audience. This is one thing I cited with Homestuck Beyond Canon, where I don't know if they're really willing to challenge the audience the way Hussey used to. I do think that Hussey's been really burned out on Homestuck and has tried, like, moving on to other things. I don't think that's a result of hatred. I think that's a result of, like, internet fame. And I think it has, like, changed them. But I think that's just bound to happen when you get famous on the internet. I don't think it's hatred.
Yeah.
As for Attack on Titan, I only watched a little bit of it, so I can't speak on it too much. But from what I saw of Attack on Titan, it seemed like some shonen slop that tried to discuss fascism while not really understanding fascism that much.
Yeah.
One of the stories I really talk about with Attack on Titan, my experience was a relative of mine tried to show it to me, recommended it. We watched it for like 4 episodes, and I hated the protagonist. He was the stereotypical generic hot-headed protagonist, so full of himself, and he was so annoying. So 4 episodes in, he gets eaten by one of the giants. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what a subversion. The hot-headed anime protagonist that thought he could survive anything just got eaten. He died 4 episodes in. Oh my goodness. Is that awesome sidekick girl, is she going to be the real protagonist? Wow, I can't wait to watch this. This is going to be so good. Next episode, he turns out to have miraculously survived because he's the chosen. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not watching this anymore. Bye.
Yeah. Do you want to go back there?
No. We should leave a crawler before we do anything else.
Okay.
Molten Core says Attack on Titan is funny because there are 3 different ways to interpret the ending based on if you think the author is fascist, if he's left-wing, or the correct one. The correct one being that the author is self-insert as Eren, and he saw that the world of anime is not the golden thing he thought it was, and now hates everyone and crapped on the ending on purpose, and he, as Eren in the series, proceeds to kill everyone because he hates everyone in real life. I haven't read it, but I have seen people talk about it. My understanding of... Oh my goodness, I hate when they just run at you. Why did they add the Baruch ones? My understanding of the ending is, it's kind of... It undermines the story's premise on being anti-fascist. Because, like, the twist is that the main characters are, like, fantasy Jews, right? And the the giant thing is some type of like punishment. It's needlessly complex. And so he decides to be like, no, I know what will solve it. Everyone thinks Jewish people are bad. I will solve this by being the one super evil, actual, like, Hitler Jew. That way, people won't be racist against Jews anymore. They'll just be racist against me. And so I will now do a super Holocaust, but, like, reverse against the non-Jews. And that will be okay. Like, sorry, I know I'm kind of explaining in a jokey way, but I hope that conveys how nonsense it was.
Alright. We got a crawler.
At least from what I was told. Again, I'm not an authority on the subject.
Mm-hmm. So they have the ammo thing, but they also have stamina out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they added stamina.
Where?
It's over here, I think. It's, like, out here. I passed it a little bit ago.
Where was it?
Here it is.
Ah, okay. Nice.
Yes.
Wait, why can't I buy... Oh, the marker's just a little finicky. Molten Core says, the golden mistake of trying to tell fascism in a story is making the oppressed race actually biologically different from the other race, like Ruby. Or it's like My Hero Academia with mutants. Yeah. I feel like I could talk about that, but my brain's being a little spacey at the moment. I've definitely seen that come up in fiction a lot.
Yeah. Sweetie, come here. I found something. I think it's Mule Kick.
Let me see.
Come over here. Come look. Through that door. Does that look like Mule Kick?
Absolutely.
Alright.
One of the things I talked about in my Homestuck video that I really believe in, and I'm glad the video gave me a chance to talk about it, but I feel like racial analogies are extremely overused in fiction. People want to talk about racism, but they don't want to actually depict racism. So they use fantasy analogs that don't really match one-to-one. One of the reasons I don't like using ghouls as racism in the Fallout series is because ghouls are biologically different. They're more resilient, they have an interesting relationship with radiation, and they don't die of old age. Given
and
enough...
the stupid stuff added by the TV show, too.
Oh yeah, the TV show made ghouls going feral a canon thing, whereas originally, especially like in Fallout 3, the whole point of the racism analogy was that ghouls didn't actually go feral. That feral ghouls and non-feral ghouls were just two different mutant strains, and that was a racist myth that humans perpetuated on them to conflate them, just like conflating black people with monkeys or something like that. They completely misunderstood their own lore and their own racial allegory.
Yeah.
Molten Core says, the problem with telling a story about revolutionaries in modern series is that eventually you have to make them be right or make them go insane for some reason. Looking at you, Killmonger. Yeah, in that Marvel video I recommended earlier, kind of went to the Killmonger situation. I think Black Panther actually was one of the better Marvel movies, personally. I think it actually had some interesting stuff to say. Because while they do the thing with Killmonger where the villain had a point but also went on a murder spree, I feel like they made T'Chaka actually be like, no, he had a point and I'm going to do something about that. I'm going to start an outreach program. They never really go anywhere with that after that point, but I kind of like that they did the villain had a point thing, but then the good guy actually acknowledges that and learns from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a problem with storytelling.
Damn it.
I did it.
Oh, did you link it?
Yeah,
okay.
I did it for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie. Alright, one of the 3 teleporters is now linked. I don't know, Molten Core says, I don't know if to call it woke scold or what, but that's kind of what the anime Devil May Cry did. DMC never really tried to make you sympathize with the demons, but in the anime they treat them as refugees. Not having seen it, I can't really tell you if that's like woke scold stuff, but in my experience, woke scold is more like bad faith faux progressivism. So I can't really think of a lot of woke scold media, to be honest. Woke scold's more of like a pattern of behavior. Because usually when I think of bad faith faux progressivism in media, you're thinking more of like hollow corporate rainbow capitalism, which is kind of a different thing. I want to see what Ammo-Matic does. I'm buying that.
I think it just gives you ammo.
Well, let's find out. Oh, the crawler died.
Oh.
I can't
Did
open
you
the
get
door.
it?
I did.
Oh no.
That's a creepy sound. Alright, let's kill the dogs. Wait, that sounds bad. Devil dogs? There.
Hellhounds. I'm reloading. Okay.
Alright. Do you want me to open the door now?
Yes.
Alright, we can go camp here in the back.
Oh, they have the Bowie knife.
That was already there.
Okay.
Alright, let's camp here. I have a feeling we're not going to survive very long on this map since they have super sprinters.
I think we could handle it.
Running circles was already hard in World at War, and super sprinters just makes it worse. I don't know what Ammo-Matic is supposed to do. I haven't seen the bullet number go up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope it's not broken.
Maybe it regens ammo.
I don't know. I'm not seeing the number go up though. I don't know what Ammo-Matic is supposed to do here. Oh wait, does it do your off gun maybe? Let me try that.
Oh, it might.
We'll see. It's currently at 168. We'll see if it goes higher. No, it's still the same. I don't get what is Ammo-Matic even doing? I guess don't buy it.
You should maybe look it up or something.
I shouldn't have to though. Moancore continues. Reminds me of when Kendrick Lamar did Auntie Diaries, an insanely progressive pro-trans song done in a huge anti-trans rap scene, but progressive con angry because he says the F slur in the song. Yeah, I remember that. So again, I wouldn't say that's a woke skull piece of media. I'm not sure what a woke skull piece of media would even look like, to be honest. But yeah, there was a lot of woke skull reactions to what was a progressive piece of media just because he uses a slur in the song. And this is, I think, a textbook example of why I think people overemphasize the importance of slurs. Like I said in the Homestuck video, they use as a polygraph test to see who is, like, secretly pure. Because Kendrick Lamar was obviously being very pro-trans. He was being based in that song, despite the usage of a slur. You know, at the very least, you could say it was well-meaning if tone-deaf. Although I don't think it was even tone-deaf. I just think he's a guy that uses a lot of slurs, you know, the N-word and whatnot. It was clearly a pro-trans statement despite the terminology he used. And I think it's worth repeating that, like, the F slur and even, like, the Q word, queer, these are, like, slurs actively in the process of being reclaimed. My personal feeling on the R word is that while I won't say it out of respect for people that find it offensive, I think the battle... Oh, yeah, good job on making crawlers, sweetie.
Yeah.
I think the battle to not say the R word, I think it's kind of lost. I think there's enough people that don't care about it. I think the battle on the R word's going to be doomed. Again, I'm not saying I'm pro the R word or anything. I just don't really make that big of a deal when people say it. I don't like it. Like, obviously, like, I think, you know, it has a history of ableism and whatnot, but there are some words, like dumb, that are so far detached from their ableist origins that I don't think when anyone uses them in a modern context that they're being ableist.
Uh-huh.
I know some people disagree on that, but at a certain point, I think you're just the word police.
Yeah.
Our Molten Core also says Kendrick basically tells the experience of his aunt becoming a man when Kendrick was really little and talks about them saying the slur a bunch but didn't know how hurtful it was. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of already talked about my feelings on, like, the slurs and stuff. Like, I mean, in that Philosophy Tube video I showed earlier about her becoming trans, she says the T slur, you know? And I think you could argue, like, that's her right. She is trans, so she's allowed to say it. But, like, if that exact same video was made by someone who ended up not transitioning, like, basically was like, nah, not for me, would saying the T slur there be really that offensive? I don't think so.
Oh, damn it. Where is the box? I thought it was over here.
Oh, it moved. I'll open some doors for you.
Oh, okay.
Molten Core says, here in Argentina, there was the issue of the word, well, maybe I shouldn't say it, which means coward, but was used against gay people, but we gays use it as meaning coward, and it kind of became accepted as a normal word. Yeah, like word reclamation. It's the same reason why black people will use the N-word. They've reclaimed that term. And we just have a sort of, like, societal agreement, you know, a consensus, that, like, they're allowed to use it because they were the victims of that word, and other people shouldn't use it. I think people try to be dogmatic and prescriptivist about these things. What do you mean I can't say the N-word? That's not fair. And it's just like, dude, just don't be a butthole. Just, people don't like you saying it, so maybe do the nice thing and don't say it. Like, I don't think it should be a crime for you to say it. But, like, chill out. It's not that hard. I opened the door to the box, sweetie. Are you lost?
Okay. No, I'm trying to figure out what Ammomatic does.
Oh, you're looking it up. Well, thank you, sweetie.
Mhm.
I am going to buy Mule Kick to get a third gun. Ooh, Browning. Let's hope Mule Kick actually works on this level. Alright. PPS is my first weapon, then Beretta, and then Browning. No, you timed out! Sweetie!
Oh, I did?
You left the game!
Oh, no.
How did that happen?
Disconnected. I don't know.
Are you in the Ethernet?
Yes. Yes, I am.
We'll just try to join via console commands. You'll have to start over, but let's hope you can get back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Molten Core says, also, we can't say the N-word. Dude, you live in America. A woman just said the N-word to a little kid in a park, and for some reason now she got $2 million. She could make item swap if she wanted. Yeah. Though, to be honest, it's a little scary seeing, like, cultural pushback like that. I genuinely think a lot of right-wingers are, like... People talk about virtue signaling, right? I don't think people talk about vice signaling enough. Where a lot of conservatives, a lot of bigots and right-wingers, they do things that they know most people think are evil, and they get praised for it. Because it's the same reason they voted for Trump, right? A lot of them know Trump is bad, but they voted for him anyway as a sort of joker candidate. They want him to destroy the system. Even though that's going to make everything worse for everybody. Likewise, I think they do evil things. They do vice signaling. Because they know it deteriorates the social fabric, the social construct. The social contract, I mean. Like, it's not just like, oh, you think the people that you disagree with are evil. It's like, no, but they do too. They agree they're evil. They just think being evil is based.
Mm-hmm.
Are you back in the game? Oh, you are.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go by... Oh, you timed out again.
No, I was just a spectator.
Sweetie, you have to wait for the next round to start.
Oh.
Get back in the game.
Okay, sorry.
It's alright. Alright, I'm gonna buy... What?
Apparently, Ammomatic was a cut perk that was supposed to give you max ammo on purchase, but
I know...
sense.
So the thing is, Ammo-Matic was a cut perk in the game files. No one knows exactly how it was supposed to work. That was not in the game files. People just found the model, the perk. But the code wasn't there. So whenever people re-implement Ammo-Matic in one of these modded levels, they make up how they think it was supposed to work. So the question is, how did these mod makers think it was supposed to work?
I think it makes you roll more max ammos for perks.
I guess, maybe. I've already bought it now, but I wouldn't recommend it. I don't like buying perks and not knowing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. There we go. I can run faster. Maybe running a circle will be viable now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, where is the crawler? I gotta kill it.
I actually like that when you bump into the fence, it makes a chain link noise.
Yep. Alright, sweetie. You have 1,500 points. Come here and buy a gun.
Okay. Shit. Where?
Right here. Go to the mystery box.
Okay.
Alright, we don't have much time.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Let's go.
I got Death Machine, okay? I'm so slow.
Yeah, it's a super heavy weapon. I think it's the only super heavy weapon, actually. Alright. Molten Core says, "Aw, cut video game content. How I love you very much." Not you, Toby Fox. I don't know all of the lore about that. I don't know if I want to know. People get a bit weird about Undertale sometimes, that's all I'm going to say. It's a great game, but people get weird about it.
Yeah.
That's such a funny line. Tank Dempsey, wait, we are keeping score?
Yes. Oh, I gotta let my gun cool down.
Wait, does it have infinite ammo?
Yes, it has infinite ammo. It's on a cooldown.
Oh, so they made it work like the power-up from Black Ops. That's a little disappointing. I think it should have ammo. It breaks my immersion.
Why is it so dark in here now?
It's not dark for me.
Oh. The lights aren't working in here for me.
That's probably a graphical glitch. Maybe just change your brightness settings.
It's fine.
Wait, that's the last one? Yeah, let's make a crawler out of it.
Help! I'm so slow.
I really should have gotten Speed Cola instead of Ammo-Matic. Oh wait, we gotta wait for insta-kill to wear off.
Yeah.
Come on. Alright, let's make a crawler. Ah, crap.
What?
I failed. Oh, I succeeded.
No. Okay.
Alright, Molten Core said...
number say 0?
Molten Core says, to make it short, there's a character in the files of Undertale called Gaster, and there is a 1 in a million chance of different events happening in the game that references existed. Oh yeah, I know about Gaster. I didn't know if you were talking about something else. In my opinion, I don't think Gaster is actually cut content. I think he's just like a little Easter egg secret character. Maybe there's facts out there that prove me wrong, but that's my understanding. He is apparently important in the lore, but the lore completely works without mentioning him once, and the community has been going insane over him for the last 10 years. Yep, that's true. And I think, honestly, I think that works. I think it's cool to have, like, little tidbits in the lore. I think a good storyteller knows to not explain everything. Like, I'm working on a book that I'm trying to get published, and I have, like, a whole, like, brainstorming document about how everything works. A lot of it isn't actually mentioned in the story. That's kind of, I think, how you do good world building. You allude to things, but you're not just an encyclopedia telling it people. Your piece of media should not be a wiki page. Molten Core says he isn't really cut because you can still find the events, but there are battle stats for him that never got used. Oh, okay. What were you saying, Kira?
Oh no, I lost my death machine. I didn't know that.
Wait, what? How'd you lose it?
You can, apparently it's a weapon that you can't, like, when you get a new weapon, it replaces it.
You didn't swap out your pistol instead?
I tried to, but it didn't seem to work.
Okay, maybe it's just buggy. Oh! I accidentally used the teleporter. I didn't realize we had already linked that one.
Oh.
Oh well. Guess I wasted some money. Gaster seems to be... Oh, hold on. Gaster seems to be important on Deltarune. Toby is not new to making important things that never come out. He made one Homestuck song that was supposed to be used at some moments since Act 4. It never got used for the melody of the song, but got reused for songs for, like, Save Your Doctor. So I don't really know much about Deltarune, to be honest. I haven't been into it. I am just not a fan of episodic games. When Deltarune was announced and it's like, okay, but this is only Act 1, I was just like, alright, I'll wait till it's all out. And I am still waiting.
Yeah. The rest of it isn't going to come out until Switch 2 comes out.
So, Oh, okay, I realize now which teleporter we haven't linked yet. Alright. Got one teleporter left. Let me go get it. I'm super speedy.
Yeah. I can't switch my weapon. I'm only stuck with this Bren weapon.
I think it's just because you only have one.
Oh.
I think that death machine messed you up some way that you only got one.
Okay. Well, I'll deal with it for now.
If you actually kill yourself, you'll come back with 1,500 points. But I guess now you have points to roll the box.
It's fine.
Sweetie, have you considered killing yourself?
No.
I would do that when I used to play this when I was younger. I would, like, have, 10 million points or whatever, and I would kill myself and let my buddy revive me so they could get some of my points. Ooh, you know what?
Does that even work on Riese?
I think point transferring through revival was only added in Black Ops.
Ah.
Molten Core says, yeah, I get you, to be honest. Deltarune is really good, and I love it, but you cannot have a full discussion about the meaning of a game since we only know like 20% of it currently. Yeah, it just gives a very unfinished feeling, and he's transparent about that, but, that doesn't make me think it's not unfinished. Yes! Okay, I bought Double Tap just to see if this level has the 4 perk limit. It does not. We can just buy all the perks.
Oh, awesome.
Also, the round is cutting out. I think we're on round 10, but I can't see the 1 in my bottom left corner. If you're wondering why we're on round 0, that's why. I'm ready when you are, sweetie.
Okay. I got a Browning.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm definitely glitched into only having one weapon.
Oh, do you have Juggernog?
Yes, I did get Juggernog.
Well, I was going to say kill yourself and let me revive you. That will probably fix the glitch.
But I have Juggernog.
Alright. Molten Core says, I gotta go. It was a nice time for it to be my first stream here. Have fun, Kyle and Kyle wife. Kira. But yes, thank you. Appreciate you joining. And, I know you came here because you were excited about the Homestuck stuff, but I do really appreciate you, like, sticking your head out to try to watch us do other content. I was a little disappointed that more Homestuck fans didn't stick around, but I appreciate you giving it a shot. Even if you don't come back, I know no hard feelings, I understand. If you don't mind giving the stream a like if you haven't already. But thank you, and I hope you have a good day. I kind of want to talk about anime girls some more. I don't really know where to go with that.
Uh-oh.
You mentioned Ryuka from Kill la Kill, despite Satsuki being a much better character.
Okay, Satsuki is good too.
She is more interesting than Ryuko.
Yeah. Just because Ryuko's a bit of a hot-headed anime protagonist.
Well, okay, Satsuki, first of all, she's 18 at the start of the show, so you don't have to worry about the pedo crap.
Uh-huh.
But she also has this really cool, like, fake fascist infiltrator plotline. Like she's basically what if Emperor Hirohito was an anime babe.
Yeah.
Molten Core says, hey, it was a fun time, and I came here because on top of the homesick video in general, you seem like a cool person. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. If I managed to catch another stream another day, I will join. All right, well, every Sunday. At least until we decide to be done with this. All right, you reload, sweetie?
Yeah.
Sip says, oh, yo, zombies. Welcome, Sip. Yep, we're playing a modded version of the original Der Riese, a custom map from World at War. We played all of the original levels at World at War, then we started playing a bunch of modded levels. This is the last modded level we are playing. Figured we'd go out with a bang playing the classic level with some extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I should probably get back up to the camping spot. I'm just so zippy.
Yeah.
Ooh, yo. I love this level for real. Oh yeah, Der Riese is classic. It's not like my favorite level, but I don't know, it's hard not to love. I would say that Der Riese is the most popular level, but it's not the most played. The most played would be Kino der Toten. Oh my goodness. Oh, we got a whole bunch coming.
I have to reload.
Don't worry, I got you.
Okay.
Sip says, well, I was awful at FPS games when I was younger, but I watched my brother play it a ton. I take pride in carrying Kira, as well as other people I've carried in the past.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I don't like carrying people because I help you and you don't help me. It's like, what are you talking about? You're there to have fun. They're helping you by enjoying friendship and bonding experiences.
Yeah.
Also, isn't it just kind of fun to be the White Knight a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It does get a little frustrating sometimes. You know, we had this in our last stream, right? Where I'm just like, yup, I die, which means we're both dead because I can't count on you to revive me.
Hey, Quiz was a really difficult level.
Alright, alright. Sip said, oh, I gotta reload, hold on.
Okay.
Oh. Run, 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 don't kill it. I said don't!
Oh. Oh, sorry.
Sip says, carrying people is the funnest experience in any game to me. My bro was awful at Sonic, so the dynamic was reversed. Oh, we killed it. That's not good.
Nope.
I'm gonna grab Speed Cola real quick.
Okay.
I'm so glad the 4 perk limit's not on this map. Ooh, you know what? I can get Quick Revive too. I'm just gonna buy all the perks.
Okay.
Alright, let me reload. Alright, let's go. It feels a little weird doing the same camping strategy every time. Some people might be like, well, do a different strategy, but it works so good!
Yeah.
Also, the super sprinters have me a little scared. Sip said, is there no perk limit in World at War, or is that part of the mod? That's just the mod. I was a little surprised when I found that out myself.
I'm reloading.
The mod adds more perks in this level, so they decide to let you just be able to buy them all. We played another level called Saloon that had like 1 million perks, and then you could buy a perk that lets you bypass the perk limit. And I had so many. I was like a perkaholic. Sweetie,
I made a crawler.
Are you shooting? I haven't seen you shoot in a while.
Yes. I just have a long reload.
Alright. Alright,
Try
nice.
not to kill the... Yeah.
Trying. I really need to get better guns. Alright, I think we're done here. Oh wait,
okay.
We got a few stragglers. Alright, there we go.
I wonder if buying a wall weapon will reset my whole weapon thing.
I can't tell you, sweetie. If you want, you could just die and rebuy Juggernaut.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Alright, hold a grenade. I think the glitch is related to either you timing out and coming back, or to that weird death machine gun you got.
Ah, it's still stuck.
Well, you don't have a second weapon, so buy a second weapon now.
Okay.
Did it work?
Nope.
Alright, I think the only solution will be you leaving the game and coming back.
Okay.
Are you okay doing that?
Yeah.
Alright, sorry this is happening to you.
How do I leave?
I don't know, shut the game down?
Eh,
Oh, this is bad.
what?
Bad weapon. They put like every World at War gun in the box, including the crappy rifles. Wait, I got the gun I just got rid of.
Eh.
Oh, I'm Mosin Nagant, then Lee Enfield, then SVT 40. I'm on a rifle collection today. Why is that teddy bear so destroyed? Is that normal?
You keep on laughing, little
Sweetie,
girl. When I
leave.
find
I'm trying to connect.
Leave. There you go. You timed out. Oh,
Okay.
did you immediately come back in after you timed out?
No, I restarted the game and everything.
It says you're still in the game though, and you reconnected.
Well, I did.
Okay.
Just took longer than the game says it did.
Okay. All right. Well, you'll have to hang around till you come back. Hopefully your issue will be resolved. You'll get 1,500 points when you come back, so just buy a wall weapon or something. And hopefully you will still have your pistol, and that will verify the issue is no longer there for you.
Yeah, I think it
Ooh.
might have been the death machine.
Yeah, and
Uh,
because of that, I think I won't pick it up right now. Because I think it might
Yeah.
be glitched. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, I think it might be related to me picking up the death machine while I only had one weapon, the pistol.
Possibly? What is... Oh, that's a PPSH. No, it's a Lanchester. Okay, I misread that.
Deadshot Daiquiri's over there.
Now I got the Garand! Give me a Wunderweapon! Wait, where's Deadshot Daiquiri?
It's on the floor next
Whoa,
to the left
what is that?
of that area you're in.
Oh, DeLo Carbine. Or Carbine. Sorry. Okay. It's not very good. I was just curious.
Very whippy.
I guess I have 2 rifles now. I see it now.
Down there.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'll save up to buy it, but I don't have enough now. Wait, my weapons got mixed up. That's not good.
That's a vanilla bug, though.
Yeah. Alright. You ready to start this?
Yep.
Alright, where are
Oh,
you?
wow.
Oh. Alright, there you are.
Oh, I respawned here next to the box.
Alright, just why not use the box?
Okay, fine.
I mean, there's a wall weapon right here if you want it. Okay, buy the wall weapon. Just buy the wall weapon. Alright, is it working?
Nope, I don't have the pistol anymore.
Alright, I think this level is just glitched on the whole you leaving and coming back thing. And I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
It's okay.
Are you okay just continuing on with a single weapon, like, disability?
I think we'll have to. I don't think we'll survive much longer anyway.
It's just I'm doing
We're
really
already at
well, and I don't want
14.
to start over.
Yeah, we're at like 14, so I doubt we'll survive much longer anyway. Oh, what? The
What?
box went over here. I can't do anything. Oh my god, this weapon sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to be carrying really hard now.
I'm gonna get the box. M1927.
If you're lucky, maybe you can get a ray gun, and then you can just survive off of that.
Yeah.
Reloading. All right. You know, you almost have enough to pack a punch. If you could pack a punch one gun, that'd be good. What'd you get?
EPS 43.
Oh, it's fine, I guess. I think there's so many weapons in the box that it lowers the chances of getting something good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the last one.
Okay.
Ah. Failed to make a crawler. There we go. Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna go get Juggernog.
So should I spend my money pack-a-punching for fun? Or should I spend my money getting a better weapon? Because I feel like you're going to be struggling and I need to do everything to carry you.
If you want to get a better weapon, then sure.
I think I'll
you know,
get something...
maybe,
What?
Maybe if I get enough to buy Mule Kick, it'll reset.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Alright, I'll save enough for Mule Kick and we'll see if that fixes it.
What if it just lets you have 2 weapons again?
Well, that would suck.
Alright. I should buy... Crap. Are you okay with me using the box, or do you really like having it right behind you during the round?
Oh, I'm okay. It's fine.
Alright, then I'll spend money on the box. Alright, so for something good. Ray gun!
Nice. Oh, since you got it so early, why didn't you go pack-a-punch it?
Oh man, my weapons got out of order again. I think so there's this glitch that happens with Mule Kick and Black Ops where you want to always make sure your third weapon is your most disposable weapon, right? So I always keep track of which one's my first, second, and third weapons when I have Mule Kick. But there's a glitch that happens rarely where the game will just shuffle them up and get them mixed up. And it seems to be happening here even more frequently than happens in Black Ops. Oh yeah, I know this glitch too, it's so evil, Sip says. Yeah, it's really frustrating. So you lose your super awesome pack-a-punched weapon because the game thought it was your third weapon. It's so annoying. Anyway, seems to have happened here now, so I have no idea which of my weapons is the third one now. I'm gonna go to the box again and get rid of this rifle.
Okay.
Oh, careful, sweetie. Do you need a cough drop?
I'm okay.
What is that? Nambu. It looks like a Walther type of thing. Like a little German pistol.
Huh?
I bet it turns into something amazing when pack-a-punched. Let's do it!
Okay.
I've seen the ray gun pack-a-punch. I've seen the Browning pack-a-punch. Let's pack-a-punch the Nambu!
Alright.
Namboom! You know what? This might be a Japanese pistol now that I think about it. But, alright. Oh, wait. Let me fire. Okay. It's not explosive despite being called Namboom. But it's powerful, probably.
Cool.
Alright, I am ready.
Okay.
Yes. Wait, it fires 2 bullets at once? Weird. Alright. It's okay, sweetie. I'll protect you.
Thank you.
I'll protect my Russian wife husband.
You got a max ammo too.
Yep. Why don't you get
What
the
is
kills?
it?
What? What?
I wonder if you get a max ammo every time you get a power up. That's what the ammo thing does.
No, it was just there were 2 power-ups there, sweetie.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's insta-kill. You try to get the kills, okay?
Okay.
Why aren't you
Reloading.
doing it?
I was reloading.
I'm just trying to let you get some points, you know?
Yeah.
Alright. We're doing really well. Round 5. Or 15, rather. I don't know why it goes off the screen like that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think we're going to camp till we die. I don't think running circles is going to save us.
Yeah.
I'll try it maybe if I get desperate, but I won't be happy
I'm
about
out
it.
of ammo.
There's a box right behind you. Oh, we just...
Yes.
Ooh, crap, we ended the round early.
Did you kill this? Ah, I had a crawler. Why'd you kill it?
I didn't realize that was the end. Do you
Look
want...
what I got.
Do you want to go to the box again?
Not right now.
Sip says, so sweet you're letting your Russian husband wife get the insta-kill points. I know, right? I'm a saint. She's Latina, by the way, so my Russian Latina girlfriend. Actually, isn't there like... Sorry, yes or no, sweetie, do you have Russian heritage at all?
No.
Okay, so that's a misconception that people think you do.
Yes, because of
No,
my...
don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say.
I have Italian heritage.
Don't dox yourself, sweetie.
Nah, it's like pretty far back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this pistol is actually a real pain to use. I was hoping it wouldn't just be a straight upgrade, but would be like a massive improvement like the M1911 is. It is not. I'm gonna run the box.
Okay.
No! What? No!
I wish I could take it.
You know, canonically, Nikolai Belinsky and Edward Richtofen were in a gay relationship.
Yeah.
They talk about it in Call of the Dead and Shangri-La.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be one of those, like, homophobic, like, oh, the evil Nazi is gay things, which is offensive, don't get me wrong. But I was kind of just glad to have any gay representation at all.
Yeah.
Oh, dogs are spawning in the round now.
Oh no. What the fuck?
Help! Help! Okay, thank you.
Trying my best.
Please stop blocking my path. Let me retreat if I would like to retreat.
Okay.
I'm just using the ray gun willy-nilly now. Oh my
Got
goodness.
some crawlers, be careful.
Alright. I'm trying, but they're getting close, and my gun is technically explosive. Ah! This is getting a little close. Please end already round. Alright, are we finally done? Oh goodness, that was a long one.
Yeah.
Alright. I think I made a bad choice of a weapon to upgrade.
Alright, I'm gonna go see if I can get Mule Kick and see if that fixes my issue.
I think I have all the perks on the map. Oh, machine gun.
Alright, I got Mule Kick. Let's see what happens when I get a gun.
Okay, Japanese machine gun. I think this is Japanese.
Oh. It relocated.
Alright, I gotta upgrade some weapons and buy some stuff. You know what?
Okay.
Maybe I'll just upgrade the 3 weapons I have. I was hoping to get like a monkey bombs or a wonder weapon, but oh well.
Okay, so it's over there.
Alright, so the DP-28 becomes Emma's record player. I don't know what that was a reference to, unfortunately. And then we have the Porter's ×2 ray gun. Nice. And then the Browning. Alright. B115 accelerator.
Oh no! Now I don't have enough for the. No! God damn it!
Have you tried crouching underneath some perk machines for some emergency points?
No. Let me try that.
It doesn't work with that one. Try one of the vanilla ones.
Okay. Yeah. It worked.
The idea is you find a quarter under the machine.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, but double tap gets a really bad rep. Double tap is a good perk. It didn't need improving. People are like, oh, but you shoot faster, so you run out of bullets faster. Well, there's this amazing invention called not shooting, called letting go of the trigger. Literally trigger discipline, skill issue. You're almost there, sweetie. You might have to repair some barriers.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to where we were camping and see if I can repair some over there.
Alright, I'm just gonna talk, I guess, while I wait for you to catch up.
Sorry.
I mentioned earlier that I was wrapping up on the D&D game that I've been running, but we're starting a new one. This time Kira's going to be the DM, and this one's going to actually take place within the D&D world as opposed to being a Mario homebrew. So that's fun.
Oh my...
What?
It's still glitched.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Alright, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to accept having one weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, just try to get a really good weapon. I would recommend some type of light machine gun so that you still can kill while having a lot of points.
I have STG 44.
Basically, you can't do the normal thing of having a wonder weapon and then also a point weapon. You need to have a very powerful point weapon.
Yeah.
SCG, well, that'll at least get you points for now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's get going.
Yeah.
This isn't a Japanese weapon. I was thinking of the Type 99 because it has the magazine on the top. This is the what's it? It's like a 22 submachine gun. I forget what the brand is. The flash on this muzzle's a bit bright. Alright, sweetie, get some points.
Reloaded. There we go.
Stand to the left, I'll be on the right. We got this. Is there any anime that you're excited to watch, sweetie? I still have anime on the brain.
I mean, I hope season 2 of Dun 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 is good when it comes out.
I can't believe they chose to end it not just so abruptly, but literally right before a character is maybe assaulted. Like, I can't believe they chose to end it that way.
I'm completely out of ammo.
There's an STG down there you can go grab real quick.
Yep.
Oh, that's the end of the round.
Oh. Oh, damn.
You want to go buy a perk?
Nah.
That'll keep him out for a few.
Hi.
Hi.
Man, I can't believe we're on round 19.
Yeah.
Doing pretty well.
We did. I think we only survived till 17 the last time we played this level.
Interesting.
I can't remember though.
I definitely have better weapons than I did then. Also, if you remember last time I killed myself with the Wunderwaffe glitch.
Oh, right.
Hi, is this Frank Corrigan? We got a spammer, or maybe not a spammer, so we have a chatter that looks oddly familiar.
Uh-oh.
Bob Fallout says, "Hey you, this is surely not a dummy alternate account. What are your thoughts on the wokeness crisis in the Fallout New Vegas modding community?" I think it's similar to the Unicorn Crisis in that, like, you're seeing things.
Yep. Ah, I'm out of ammo. Ah, that didn't make any crawlers.
Yeah, we're at a high level. The grenades aren't making a lot of crawlers anymore. Is that going to end the round again? It did.
Oh no. I
So-
really wanted to pack-a-punch this weapon.
Oh.
I guess I'll just buy some ammo for now.
We got AI crap in chat now. Alright, just bandit. If you're gonna troll, at least, like, type it yourself. Don't just have ChatGPT do it for you. I really want to argue with people in chat. Why haven't I been able to argue with people in chat? And I think it's because, like, you know, that one dude, the one person who, like, keeps trying to bombard me, won't even, like, actually argue and defend his own points. He has to get bot alt accounts to do it for him. It's such a shame. Such a cowardly thing to do.
Alright, I'm gonna go pack-punch this. You grab the max ammo.
Alright. I'll go with you so I can keep an eye on you.
Okay. I do have Juggernog.
I honestly wish I could talk a little bit about, like, wokeness in the Fallout modding community, but, like, it's, like, such a made-up topic. I might as well talk about, like, ghosts in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, you know?
I had my pistol while it was being pack-a-punch and then it went away.
I mean, quite frankly, if I wanted to just, like, make up random things to talk about on stream, I could use, like, a random word generator and do that, but, you know, it's kind of soulless.
Uh-huh. I went back to her spot.
I'm here.
Hi.
You know, you've been playing that, what was it, Oblivion remaster game?
Yeah.
I thought it might be funny to ask you, how woke is that game? No, seriously, I don't know anything about that game.
It's from like 2005, so like nothing.
Alright, the chat GPT is responding again. I'm in the middle of a round, so I can't really block him yet.
Okay.
Chat GPT says, why do you keep ignoring criticism? What criticism, dude? Literally, like, you've failed to tell the AI to make a criticism. Ashfall dude is a known bad guy in the modding community. I have literally no idea who that is. You just keep spamming me about them because I think I'm the one gay person you know.
Okay.
Wants to turn Fallout woke and transgender? Fallout is already woke and transgender. Everyone who plays Fallout New Vegas plays as a sexy kitty girl. What game do you think you're playing?
Yeah.
Dayglow told me you're woke. Dayglow is a state of the NCR.
Yeah.
It's like you're in an alternate universe, really. Like wake up, sheep. Yeah, Kira and I are woke. It's called being based. Alright, that's the last one. Don't kill it. Anyway, you don't actually respond to anything I say. You just regurgitate whatever is on the top of your mind. That's why I don't think you're a real person. I think you're just an AI. Obviously, someone is sending the AI to harass me, but like, I'd be happy to respond to actual criticism, but you don't respond to anything I say. You're just a robot.
Yeah.
What about the claims that Ashfall dude is secretly Jewish? Thank you for making my point for me, Nazi. Thank you for that. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'll block any other accounts you make. This is why I can't give the AI's attention.
Yeah.
If you make Nazis angry, you're doing something good.
I do have monkey bombs, by the way.
Oh, that's great. I have 26,000 points. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll spam the box, see if I can get a better weapon. Ooh, you know what? I have so much money, I could just get 3 brand new guns and pack-a-punch them. Let's just do that for fun. I finally survived long enough to just pack-a-punch random weapons.
Yeah.
Thompson? That's a little boring. Let's get something cooler. Okay, Bar? Bar is terrible. Maybe that'll be fun to pack a punch. And what is this? Come on, let me grab it. Grease gun. Oh, it's a 9mm submachine gun. Nice, nice. I'm not grabbing the death machine. I don't want to be Kira Marshakud.
Shut up.
Ah. Lame. Oh, crawler's coming.
I didn't want a new gun anyway.
Honestly, I have half a mind to look up who this Ashfall person is because they sound like they must be pretty based.
I don't know.
It's probably some like Skyrim thing.
Honestly,
I don't know anything about Elder Scrolls, you know.
there's some really good Skyrim mods. Like, the Skyrim modding community is actually pretty progressive.
Oh yeah, Eleonora being like one of the chief examples. She's great.
Yeah.
I mean, she's into Bethesda games way more than I think is reasonable, but she works there. I can give her a pass on that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Literally.
MGO8. What?
Oh, cool. They've literally paid her to make mods for them before, so yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know, some people think like all the gays have each other on this on a Rolodex, like we're all in like one giant group chat of all the gays, you know? And
That
like
would be awesome, though, if that were true.
yeah, just like imagine like a lonely gay trans girl just being like, I wish we were on a group chat. Maybe I'd be rejected less.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie, can you take the crawler? I'm trying to pack a punch and it's in my way.
Okay, we're in the center.
Yeah, near the pack a punch.
Okay. I've got it.
All right, upgrading the bar into something useless. The Widowmaker. Sorry, what?
You don't know if it's useless.
Most upgrades are just like flat damage buffs. Magna Collider, nice. Yep. So most of them are just flat damage buffs. It's actually really cool when they do something fun. Like, I know if you upgrade the rocket launcher, it becomes automatic. Alright, I am ready. Where are you?
Okay. Back at near the area where we camp.
Alright, you ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay, the upgraded bar is not actually that bad.
Cool.
What gun do you have anyway?
The Spot's 447 plus.
Oh, you upgraded the wall weapon?
Yeah.
That's a little pricey.
I'm not buying ammo for it, or at least I haven't had to yet.
Alright, but if you have to start doing that, 4,500 for ammo is just a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to, because you got a max ammo.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Alright, I was worried for a second.
I'm good.
I think I'm surviving so long because I have so many perks. I think that's the main reason I'm doing better.
Yeah.
This is why they have a 4 perk limit, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you become so powerful when you bypass it.
I don't care, though, because the perks cost enough that, like, you're not going to get more than 4 for a little while.
I'm fine with a perk limit. I just think there should be a way to bypass it.
Yeah.
Because then you have to work within your limit, but then you have to do some difficult challenge to bypass it. And then you can get more than 4.
Uh-huh. We don't have any crawlers.
There are some times, though, where the limit is so absurd, like in Shangri-La and Moon, the Black Ops levels, you have to do a whole bunch of insane nonsense to be able to bypass the limit to the point that, like, oh, okay, you basically just can't do it.
Oh, really?
You have to do the entire side quest Easter egg thing.
I didn't know that you could do that to bypass the perk limit.
It's meant to be a reward for doing it, but there's no other way to bypass the limit in those levels, or at least no viable way.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, sweetie, for surviving with only 1 gun.
Thank you.
You know, after we stream today, after we play this, we're gonna have to figure out how to hook up Black Ops to be able to stream it.
Yep.
I ran out of grenades.
Black Ops does plutonium as well.
It does. We just have to figure out how to set it up.
There's grenades at the end of that tunnel down
I
below.
bought them.
Okay.
It takes multiple grenades to kill these things now, to make crawlers.
Come on, where is the box?
Ow, I hurt myself.
The box there.
All right, I want to try out the ray gun. Oh, it killed it. Oh, it killed it.
Great.
I used the box is by the power where it started.
Oh, okay.
Here, do it real quick.
No, I
It's
don't want
fine.
to risk it.
It's fine. I'm here. I'm protecting you.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Ray gun. Do you want to pack a punch it?
Yes.
All right, let's go to the teleporter.
All right.
Oh, my screen's frozen.
Ah, I'm glitching out. There we go.
I think we just had a big hiccup for a second.
Yeah.
All right, pack a punch.
All right.
Pack a punch.
Okay, I got it.
All right, let's get out of here. Get out of here. Hurry before insta-kill wears off.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Aha. Awesome.
Great job, sweetie.
Thank you. Oh, dogs. Oh no, it's happening again.
Oh no.
My connection is fine, so unless there's something wonky going on with our ISP... No, because the stream
There
is still
might be.
going. The stream is still going just fine, though.
It might be the game.
Yeah, the game might just be struggling with us being at such a high level or something.
Yeah.
This custom map does have a lot more, like, textures and lighting and models than the World at War might be able to handle normally.
Yeah.
Now, just know with that weapon, you're going to be very short on points, so I would highly recommend you not to waste all of your ammo. Save it for when it's an emergency.
Okay.
Like, still shoot now and then, don't make me do all the work, but, you know, space out your bullets.
Yeah. I made a crawler.
Nice. You're doing great. Oh, you never did answer my question. How is Oblivion woke?
It isn't.
Wait, you're telling me there's no gay characters?
Nope, not a single one.
Oh, I was hoping you would tell me it was always woke. What about, like, Morrowind or something?
Morrowind has some of that stuff like implied and everything, but there's so like little characterization usually of those old characters in that game that yeah. Oh wait, yes, there's a canonically bisexual character.
All right, that's cool.
One of the leaders of one of the great houses, like he's in a very high position, will ask you to like give him a kiss and ask to see you naked regardless of your gender.
Interesting. Well, I guess we can say confidently that while Elder Scrolls and Bethesda were always woke, they have since gotten more woke. And that is best.
Yeah, because Skyrim has way more.
What? Oh, Crawler was killing me.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm not doing well. I am not doing well. You're making so many crawlers. Oh no, get the insta-kill.
I can't move.
Good job, great job, sweetie. Wow, that was close. Whew, that was tough. Those crawlers almost got me.
I'm trying to make crawlers and I can't.
Well, it's insta-kill, of course you can.
Oh, right.
Alright. Round's still going. Now remember, we said when we started this, if we ever got to round 30, we would just quit. We would just end it. There's no point in going past 30.
Yeah.
But we're getting close.
Yeah. I don't have any grenades left.
Oh my goodness, I'm shooting so fast! There, I made a crawler.
Okay.
Just try to keep it alive, if you can.
Okay.
I think the round's almost over. Nope, it is not. You immediately died!
I really thought it was almost over.
Try to make a crawler around you if you can.
I am. I'm trying to. I've got one.
Please end the round already. Alright, no! I was right on top of you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I was right there. I don't have monkey bombs, so I couldn't distract them.
Right, I should have thrown a monkey bomb.
Yeah. Well, I'll buy more weapons and upgrade them, I guess, for fun.
Yeah.
I'll just hold on to the ray gun for emergencies.
Alright.
Springfield. Okay, I feel like if I upgrade this, it's gonna be complete garbage. I'll do the carbine, but not the Springfield. Aw.
Hey, fuck! Fuck you!
I really think that people are going to look at woke in the future the way that we kind of look at the N-word. Although a more apt comparison might be a slur for Jew, which I'm obviously not going to say. But
yeah.
I definitely feel like that's how it's going to be looked at because of how the word is used to justify pretty much any atrocity you can imagine.
Yep.
Which is why my decision is to kind of do the same thing that black people did with the N-word, or that the word queer, or the T-slur for trans people, is to lean into it and reclaim it.
Yep.
Not that it's not even really reclaiming, because the word was fine. They're trying to make it into a bad thing, and I think one of the things about America right now, as the country goes fascist, is that a lot of Americans are just refusing to go along with it. They want to try to do a top-down culture shift, and it's just not as successful as they would like.
Yep.
I haven't seen the PPSation here. Oh, a Luger. Alright, so this is the German, the Nazi pistol, I think. Trench gun? I mean, it's pretty good, but not ideal for camping. Oh, okay, here's something. Bren.
Wait, can you switch weapons with that?
Yeah? Why?
I couldn't, because I got glee.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Alright, let's pack a punch some weapons for fun.
Okay, have fun.
Widdershins. Alright. The Bren is such a weird weapon. It's like the Type 99. It's from an era of weapons where they were clearly, like, still figuring out the kinks of automatic weapons, and they didn't realize having the magazine on top was actually kind of a bad call.
Yeah.
But it makes it kind of interesting to look at. Her Majesty. Alright. Queen Elizabeth the gun, I guess. Alright. I guess let's get going. I'm sorry you died, sweetie.
It's okay.
If you had a few more points, you could upgrade the starting pistol. Do you want to try to do that?
No.
Fine. Do you want me to bring you back next to the box then?
Sure.
I'll try. We'll see if it works.
Alright.
Alright, where's the crawlers at? I don't see them anywhere. I have been running around a lot, though.
I think they're in the main area near the Pack-a-Punch.
Alright, well, I'm not going to wait for it. Where are they? Oh, here it is. Alright, sweetie, let's go.
Yeah.
This way.
Oh god, oh god, oh
I'll
god.
protect you. Come on.
That's my grenade, devil voice.
Let's go, sweetie. Come on.
You're so much faster than me. I got monkey bombs.
Hey, that's nice. I wish I had those.
I got a Mosin Nagant.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I got an NG-085.
Oh, that's good. It's a good weapon, but it's a World War I weapon. So, it's like, it's good for its time, and it's still fairly good as just a light machine gun in general. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
You want to go to the box again?
No.
You still have only one weapon?
Yep.
Alright, if you had a little bit more points, you could buy Juggernog. I guess that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Alright, round 26. Remember, 30 and we're done.
Yep. I can't believe we got so high.
Yeah. So high like weed, am I right?
Oh, shut
like
up.
drugs, chemicals, chems. I love that the carbine becomes automatic and becomes like a functional submachine gun when you upgrade it.
Yeah.
It's genuinely a huge improvement.
Yeah.
The only problem is it doesn't have that much ammo.
Reloading. Let me know if you want me to throw a monkey bomb.
Okay, but you're gonna have to kind of rely on your intuition.
Okay.
Just make sure when you throw it far.
Yeah.
I have so many points. Wait. Oh, do you think this map might have double pack-a-punching? I didn't even try.
Oh, I don't think so, but maybe.
I should try. I have a feeling this round's gonna go on for a while.
Yeah.
I'm almost out of the Wittershins.
Reloading. And I'm completely out of ammo.
Oh.
Oh!
What? Oh, okay, go get some ammo while it's going. Although
Yeah.
you threw it right at the stairway. That's not good.
No! I was
Oh.
so close.
That's so bad.
Oh, we do have a crawler, though.
Alright, time to run the circle.
Okay.
Alright, guys, let's see if I can get there in time. Just gotta run for it. I got stamina up.
Nope.
Oh, I wasn't even close. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But you see, look, there's no zombies around right now, so I could have gotten you if I had just been a little bit faster.
Yeah. Oh wow! What the hell? There's
What?
the round still isn't even close to over.
Nope. I was leading them away to try to get you. I failed. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, now it's over.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right, what are you gonna do?
Just stay here.
Gonna need some juice soon.
You want to pack a punch or juggernog or anything?
Nah, I'm too scared to do that right now.
I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to survive then. I needed to prepare for the next round. I didn't get a chance. I might have to abandon.
Alright, that's fine. Just do what you gotta do, sweetie.
Oh, you do this.
Yep. Reloading.
I figured out what Ammo-matic does, by the way.
What?
It does regen ammo. It's just extremely slow.
Okay. Okay. Ah! The dog
you died
behind
to
it got me.
You died to a single dog?
Yes.
Again, I still don't have monkey bombs.
I don't know how you haven't gotten them yet.
Oh, that was so close.
Oh, nice.
I just barely got you. That nuke saved my life.
You should get your ray gun and try to make some crawlers.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm not talking too much, Chad. This is just really intense.
Yeah.
And I know if I go down, the game is over.
Yep. Cause I ain't got shit. I'm out of ammo again.
The Bowie knife is actually coming in handy. I can't believe it.
Oh, really?
Yep. Is it about to end?
I don't know.
I left.
Doesn't look like it's about to end.
Okay, there's like one left. Two
Okay.
left, maybe.
Alright. I'm leaving.
Come on, crawler. Become a crawler. It died. I hate you.
Oh no. I'm heading to the box.
I tried so hard to make it a crawler. I really did.
I know, sweetie. Sorry. I'm gonna try to go to the box and get back, but don't expect me to survive.
All right.
Oh, yep. Dog right in front of me. Oh, it got stuck. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Protect me.
I don't know if that's doable,
Oh,
sweetie.
God damn it, it got a teddy bear. Yeah, forget it.
Teleporter now. Teleporter now.
I couldn't get to it. It's fine, just go. Just go.
I need my sweetie girl.
Go.
No, I tried. I tried.
A 28.
I should have left
really
you.
Good, though.
I should have left
yeah,
you to die.
I told you. You should have left.
I'm sorry. I just didn't wanna. I wanted you to survive with me. That was my only down the entire time, by the way.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, you were so good. You got. I didn't get to have more than one gun.
I know. But if it's any consolation, sweetie, it's like you're that good at the game in the first place, right?
Fuck you.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. So that has been Call of Duty World at War Zombies. And we played a whole bunch of cool custom maps. What was your favorite?
That's really hard. I honestly think the quiz one was actually really fun.
I think Saloon was my favorite. The map wasn't that much to speak of, but I think it did a lot with the perk system that made it interesting to play.
Oh yeah, the saloon was really good.
But yeah, I also liked the Armory. I liked the Christmas one, surprisingly.
I did not like the Armory. The Christmas one was
I thought the Armory was fun. Quiz.
It's way too hard.
Quiz was good. And the Hello Kitty one, also I have a soft spot for that.
The Hello Kitty one was good, yeah.
But yeah, I think the Saloon would be my favorite. Alright, so this has been the stream. We're going to be in a little bit early because we don't have enough time to play anymore. Next time, we're going to get our Black Ops copies ready, and we're going to go through the Black Ops levels. I know there's some modded levels for Black Ops, but I don't really know how that works, so no promises there, but we'll at least play through the legit levels. And also, next stream, we're going to do the top 10 video essays. So that should be fun. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you later.
Yep.